Have your sports curiosity cured.
It's around Farabee. Cuts to his left, Nugent Hopkins. Now McDavid. His first goal in 50 games comes on the power play. 3 games to lead for Edmonton. 2-1.
A veteran of the sports reporting game for over 25 years.
Number 1 in the league is shade under 34% for Edmonton. All-time record the Oilers set a couple years ago at 32.5%. On pace to shatter that inside scores. He's the playmaker with 3 assists. Draisaitl's second power play goal night extends the lead to 3-1.
Breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams.
Big away, great aim. 3 shorthanded goals for him. And Farabee. Here's McDavid to the net. Jumps inside. A save made by Wolf. Rebound. Draisaitl. Score. All 3 of them. 5-1 for Edmonton. Career trick number 9.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, December the 24th. Happy Christmas Eve to everyone out there listening. Hope you're having a great holiday season. If you're not at work today, hope you're kicking things off the right way. For what for a lot of people is going to be a week and a half, maybe off, or if you are at work, maybe a little more lackadaisical. Or alternatively, if you're among the essential services and you're sticking to your usual grind here over the next week and a half holiday stretch, my kudos to you. Would not be able to make the world turn without you. Welcome in to the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440, streaming live from inside the Stinger Studios in West Edmonton Mall. And the mall the last couple of days, oh baby, it is getting busy with the festive spirit. People getting their last minute shopping done, and you can tell that Christmas is certainly in the air. Brandon Douglas sitting in for Kevin this morning. KK will be back Monday morning as he just got a little bit of an early head start on his Christmas vacation himself, heading back to Melville to spend time with friends, family, his better half Laura tagging along. Hopefully they made it there all safe and sound, in particular with ahead of today's weather that we're expecting with huge dumps of snow. So if you've got somewhere to go, recommended to try and leave as early as possible. Daylight travel will certainly make things a lot easier. And if you do have to travel through the snow, through the cold, take your time. Everybody's got somewhere to get this holiday season. If you're a little bit late, that's better than not arriving at all. What is there to say about last night's Edmonton Oilers game? 5-1 the final over their rivals to the south, the Calgary Flames. And this was a hockey game that had elements of competitiveness early and a close score, but the Oilers very quickly showed that they are the superior team in nearly every element of the game. The Flames did not go away quietly. And you have to give them a lot of credit for that. And the little extracurriculars, the fracases, the scuffles, post-whistle, and right at the end of the game, or very close to the end of the game, I should say 6 seconds left, should all tee up to make a very, very intriguing and interesting return of fare come Saturday night down in Cowtown. Our text line, 1-833-401-1440. You can get a hold of us there. Drop us a text. You can give us a call if you're so inclined as well. We'll be happy to take it. Josh Femick along in studio with me this morning as we quickly recap the Oilers' win last night, look ahead to some Christmas Day football games, weekend football, the return of the NHL over the weekend. And hey, why not even mix in a little World Junior Championship talk? Canada easily taking care of business in their final pre-tournament game. Denmark yesterday wasn't expected to be close, and the final result absolutely was not. And a little special treat for our listeners this morning, a midweek Wednesday edition of Playlist Friday. Playlist Wednesday, all Christmas edition. If you've got a song, a holiday tune that sends you into the Christmas spirit with a torrid pace, we'll be happy to get it on for you as one of our break intros, our walk-up songs, as KK often likes to call them. You can text those into the same line, 1-833-401-1440. 40. The texts already flooding in Northside. Adam, morning, boys. So glad you're on the air today. I thought I was going to have to work a half day all alone. Right on, boys. Merry Christmas to you. Hey, Adam, Merry Christmas to you. Glad to be with you guys this morning. Hey, the Oilers are in action. We're on air, baby. It's just we can't ignore it. We love the Oilers simply too much. Kevlar chiming in as well. Connor Ingram reminds me of Braden. Will be steady. Eddie. I'm not sure exactly who Kevlar is referring to in that saying Braden. Braden Holtby? Maybe. That's the first name that comes to mind. Stanley Cup winning goaltender with the Washington Capitals back in 2018. But if there's a different Braden, feel free to follow up with that one, Kevlar. You can also get in your thoughts on last night's game. What stood out to you? Maybe it's the obvious. Leon Draisaitl snapping his 8-game goal streak with a hat trick, with a bang, with a bullet. All three coming on the man advantage as the Oilers' top-ranked power play across the entirety of the NHL continues to roll at a gangbusters pace. Connor McDavid, what's left to be said? The way he is playing right now, the dominance, the authority, I'm not sure we've seen him better in the regular season. I'll hear arguments about playoffs. It's a different beast. And of course, you know, the record-setting postseason he had a couple springs ago, winning the Conn Smythe Trophy in a losing effort. Yeah, I'll say that was maybe the best we ever saw Connor McDavid. But from a regular season perspective, this stretch that he is on right now is borderline hard to comprehend. It looks at times like he is playing against opponents that are not in the same league as him. This is the best league in the world. This is the NHL. And at times, it looks like he's going out there schooling a couple of bantam age players. 67 points now on the season, which gives him the lead in the NHL. How long ago were we talking about how much he trailed Nathan MacKinnon by? And MacKinnon was running away with the scoring race. Not the case. 6 points. Connor McDavid now leads Nathan MacKinnon. It's absolutely astounding. Leon Draisaitl for his efforts last night. He is now T3 in the NHL with 55. The hat trick, as mentioned, snapping a scoring streak. Zach Hyman got 3 points in the game. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins cashing in. Evan Bouchard, a couple markers from the back end. And Connor Ingram stopping 19 of 20. Was not particularly busy, but showed up when he had to. And as a result, securing his second straight victory as an Edmonton Oiler. Between Ingram and Jari, now 5-0 with the Oilers. That is their two new goalies that they added for this season. Maybe it's something else that stood out to you about last night. Some of the rough stuff. Darnell Nurse not shying away. Trent Frederick dropping the gloves, answering the bell in a pretty big way after a healthy scratch. Lots and lots and lots to dive into on the Oilers front, and it all points towards the rematch Saturday night at the Scotiabank Saddle Dome. Let's say good morning to our man on the sticks, Josh Fenwick. Tough one for your Flames last night, Josh. You have my condolences, but what to me, and please, absolutely feel free to speak freely and tell me if I'm wrong or out of line here. That game last night was the perfect epitome of why I don't understand the direction of the Calgary Flames.
I disagree.
Okay.
They grounded out last night. Obviously, the two of the four best players in the world showed that they are the best players in the world. Everyone wakes up for these games on these teams, right? This is one of the most famous rivalries in hockey. Uyghur getting thrown out pretty early into the second there. You're the number.
He just lost it.
Yeah, like, dude, you hit Darnell Nurse's stick away. Like, you just, I get it. You're upset about. I don't know what Darnell Nurse said to him or egged him on into doing it, but like, relax. Don't start tapping on the boards. Louis even said it on the broadcast. Was you could probably have gotten away with that first one. But just keep going at it. Like, you are the best defenseman on the team. We sort of need you to keep it together, because it's you and Rasmus Anderson, and then like Zane Parek's gone. World Juniors are happening. He's not with the team right now. You need to keep yourself together, because we saw it. He's gone, and Hanley is going behind Connor McDavid when he's on the break. Like has a line to get in front of him. Is like, oh, I better just go around him and see if I can take the puck away. What are we doing here? But like, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But I think they beat the teams that everyone should beat, and have ended up beating a couple of teams that, well, maybe they shouldn't have beat. And I mean, I think you can say that with the Oilers at the beginning of the year, winning in a shootout. But I don't know, you just ran into some bad luck yesterday. Couldn't get in the ozone like at all.
Oh, like it was a struggle. And like I said, we talked about it with Ryan Pike yesterday morning and lead up to this game. Like the Flames do not have a difference maker, right? They've got some good pieces, some good players. This isn't the San Jose Sharks of the past season or two.
Yes, exactly.
That is not what this team is. But that's my point, is that in this construction of the Calgary Flames, they are destined to finish right in the middle of the pack. That is in no way, shape, or form. I get it. Maybe last night was among their worst games, especially of recent play. Sure. But that is not a playoff hockey team in the NHL. Dustin Wolf was unbelievable. That is the singular element of this Flames team that, to my eyes, says remain competitive, because you have this guy playing nails right now.
My God, like,
and it's crazy because that my primary thought last night around the Flames and the game on its whole was that Oilers fans take notice. When you're complaining about goaltending, and I get it, they got a whole new set, a whole new Christmas present of Lego to play with here. And Tristan Jarry upon his return from injury, and Connor Ingram, who's now 2-0. But when you're complaining about goaltending, just look at the Flames and say, it does not matter how good your goalie is. If the team in front of them is not playing up to snuff, it is a moot point.
I totally agree. Unfortunately, he lets what would it have been 4 power play goals in last night.
Oh yeah.
He really stood on his head in that 4-on-4, or that what was 4-on-3.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
right.
And then went into so I forget what it was, maybe like 3.5 minutes of just shorthanded play. Didn't let a goal in, but holy geez, like that everyone was just swarming the crease, and he was all over the place. I was like, this. I think I sent a tweet out, like, Dustin Wolf proved why he's that guy on that power play right there, because like unstoppable. But once Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman get that close to the goalie, I basically know it's an automatic goal for one of them.
What are you to do as a goaltender? And like the goals against, there was not a single goal, I think, last night watching it where I say, it was like, yeah, maybe you'd like him to have that. They're all backdoor plays, bouncing pucks, second chances. That they're like Dustin Wolf in any other game would have been the first star last night, but it just so happened that on home ice, on the opposite side, a guy had a hat trick, 5 assists, and you lose going away. In the case of the Flames, 5-1 the finals. So we will continue to break down this game and look ahead post-holiday break for the Oilers with a few different guests this morning. We've got an extra special Christmas show, Christmas Eve show that is lined up for you guys this morning. So Andrew Walker, host of Sports 1440's pre- and post-game show, is going to be courteous enough to give us a little time here before he fully kicks it into holiday gear. I got a skate with Walker this afternoon where I'll see him, but we'll get his thoughts on the game and the Oilers moving forward into the end of 2025 and the new year. Then we've got a bunch of best of interviews to mix in throughout the show. John Morasti, Nasty Morasti, also known as Jim, or one of the Jims, on Shoresy. He was on with us earlier this summer, fresh after a little cameo appearance at the Calgary Stampede Chuck Wagon races. Talked about his career, some of his best fights, his role on Shores as he transitions into acting and kind of getting in that side of things. We'll have our usual hit with Speck at 8 o'clock, get his thoughts on last night's game, and send Speck into Christmas on his merry, merry way. Tyson Barrie, the former Oiler, retired earlier this year. He jumped on with Kevin and David Schlemko to talk about his playing days, the evolution, right? Going from Colorado playing with Nate McKinnon and Gabe Landeskog to Toronto playing with Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews here in Edmonton, Draisaitl, McDavid, and then his eventual move to Nashville, where he kind of finished the permanent playing portion of his career. We will go in or out. I tasked Josh with cooking up a banger list for just the two of us to dive into today. Dwayne Mandrusiak, another best of interview from this year. Long-time equipment manager, a trainer, now Edmonton Elks Double E historian. He hopped on with Kevin Backner at the start of the CFL season, talking about this new role, the history of the team, and its new direction under Chris Morris, Ed Hervey, and Mark Killam. Paul Stewart, former NHL referee, one of our favorite interviews. We usually catch up with Paul once a year at this point here on the Kevin Karius Show, talking about his opinion on the game. Now, this was right around the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, if my memory serves correct. So a couple thoughts on some things, and then always some great stories that Paul has to share as well. Alan Mitchell, the lowdown with Low Tide, the man that's afforded days off and simply doesn't want to take them. He wants to hop on. Glad to have him. Very grateful for LT's time. At 10 o'clock, we'll talk some more Oilers there to keep it fresh and keep things live for you as our morning show progresses. And then our final best of, Gilbert Brulé. He was in town for the Brick Tournament this summer. Schlemmer was on for that one as well. Former teammates in Arizona. Their paths have crossed a number of different times, actually here and around Edmonton and beyond. Fun chat with Gilbert, who was in studio for that. That'll come up at 10:20, and then we will wrap up the show, send everybody on their merry way. If you're done your half day of work, maybe near 11 o'clock, we will have Fantasy Frenzy. Connor Halley will join us as well from 11 to 12. All that and a little bit more sandwiched in throughout the course of the next 3 hours and 40 minutes or so. Right after the break, though, Andrew Walker, Sports 1440's pre- and post-game host, will be with us. Get your texts in, 1-833-401-1440. You got a Christmas song, a holiday song in your heart, text it in. Josh will get it on for us. So we've got a Wednesday edition of Playlist Friday here on the Kevin Karius Show on Christmas Eve. Brandon Douglas, Josh Filmick in studio with you. Andrew Walker right after the break. It's the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. December is here. Christmas shopping, Christmas wrapping, Christmas baking, grocery shopping. What about our vehicle? Does it need tires? It's not running? No problem. We got you covered. At Northgate GM, we have a tremendous selection of newer used vehicles, winter tires at cost, and of course, service with a smile. Come in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
At GS Construction, we focus on building a culture of collaboration, innovation, and respect. Our teams work together, supporting one another and striving towards shared goals. We're committed to creating a work environment that empowers individuals, values teamwork, and ensures everyone feels respected and safe. With decades of experience in the field, GS Construction prioritizes our people, our culture, and safety. This is what makes us unique. To find out more, go to gsconstruction.ca.
I'm making my list, checking it twice, and guess what? I'm giving Will Hawk beef jerky to everyone, naughty and nice. Because honestly, everyone deserves a taste of Alberta's finest, no matter if they've been bad or good. So this holiday season, skip the chocolates and pass on the turkey. Make sure you're Will Hawking around the Christmas tree with Alberta's best beef jerky. Ho, ho, ho!
Available at Will Hawk Beef Jerky in Leduc.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Just think, Kevin Karius has been covering Edmonton sports since before TikTok, Twitter, texting, and the Titanic. We may have made that last one up. Check out Karius in the mornings on Sports 1440. Your game, your station.
Weekly NFL giveaways, drink specials, huge screen TVs. The hits keep coming at First Round, Edmonton's NFL headquarters. Watch NFL football at First Round, and you could win a trip to your favorite NFL city for a regular season game next season. Catch NFL action Thursday nights, all day Sunday, starting with the Pro Bowl brunch from 10:30 to 2. Then Monday night, with half-price boneless wings after 6 p.m. First Round, burgers, beer, sports. Downtown and Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers, and that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today. From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
Welcome back into the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick in this morning for 2K. Yes, he is enjoying an early start to the holidays with the fam out in Melville, Saskatchewan. He will be back on Monday morning when we will all be back, except for 2 men who will be the only people putting in some work here over the next handful of days. Let's get to our puck report brought to you by Fountain Tire. At Fountain Tire, we can meet all your car needs and more with our digital vehicle report. We don't just tell you what your car needs, we show you. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com today. And one of those men that will be working this weekend is Andrew Walker, host of our pre- and post-game show here on Sports 1440. Walks, good morning. Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for jumping on and batting leadoff once again for us today. Appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. Good morning. Merry Christmas to everybody, and Merry Christmas Eve, hopefully. Yeah, I'm the first to say, were you guys were you a Christmas Eve family or a Christmas morning family?
We're a Christmas morning family at the farm. And you get up, growing up, that is, get up, go out, milk cows, do the chores, come back in for a nice big full spread breakfast, some presents, yada, yada, yada. You do the rest of the chores throughout the day and then back in for the regular Christmas dinner, turkey, ham, the whole shebang. What about the Walker household?
Well, when we were kids, so I had 2 younger brothers. So yeah, the presents under the tree or whatever. My parents never wanted us to open them Christmas Eve because then we just want to play with the toys and then you got to go to bed, right? So
right.
Yeah, we always would. It was a break for them probably too because we'd always try to go to bed as early as possible on Christmas Eve because that would mean
the morning came quicker, right?
So we do all the presents first thing in the morning and then as we got older, and teenagers want to sleep, then we started doing Christmas Eve. So
No, it's. I think that might be a pretty common thread across a lot of households. Not well, the province, country, world, whatever you want to put it. So walks last night. The Oilers, they win in pretty resounding fashion. A really strong performance at both ends of the ice for the team. They beat the Flames 5-1. Some individual performances to focus on for sure, but on whole in this game, like there was some rough stuff at the end. It tees up to make for a pretty interesting rematch on Saturday night. But what was your kind of overarching takeaways out of the victory last night?
Well, a lot of people will talk about McDavid, obviously, he's just been on one for forever now. And 5 assists and right now the power play is back to that point where I don't know if they ever got to this point last year, but the year previous there was a feeling that if a referee calls a penalty, you're basically calling a goal, right? Like an auto goal, 1-0. It was kind of in that King series and whatever. We're kind of back to that. And I know like when they set the record for power play, I think it was 32% or whatever. Now they're at 34, 35.
Yeah.
So it feels like an auto goal. Like even when I was thinking about this, so McDavid goes in on just another insane rush last night, shorthanded, and he takes a pretty decent slash there from Anderson, I think it was. And I thought it was going to be a penalty shot. I don't even know why. There was another game too. I think it was in the Pittsburgh-Toronto game where just so easy for the referee to point to center and make an exciting moment, and they never do. They always call the hook or the slash. But anyway, so McDavid gets obviously slashed. So penalties coming up, and I thought it was going to be a penalty shot, and it wasn't. And you're like, oh. And then when you think about it, like McDavid's career shootout percentage, I'm pretty sure it's below the percentage where the Oilers power play is.
Yeah.
So if you can believe it, math-wise, the Oilers would rather have a power play than a penalty shot. That's crazy.
It really is, and the power play, like the rate that it's clicking, and you put it so perfectly that it's kind of back to that phase of confidence from us as viewers, and I'm sure to those that are actually on the ice, on the unit, saying like we expect to score every time we hop over the boards with the man advantage. And we did see some Unit 2 action late in the game with the game well out of hand, which I think is positive, if nothing else. At least they get an occasional rep out there because they see so few of them during the regular course of a game. But to focus on McDavid for a second longer here, you mentioned the 5 assists. Vaults well into the scoring lead in the NHL. It's a point streak to 11 games. The pace here of the past month has been nothing short of extraordinary. To your eye and your opinion, have we seen him play at a higher level in the regular season prior to this?
Oh boy, it's tough to say because like I was talking about on the show last night, it's really easy for recency bias to
absolutely
kind of slide in here, and you're like, oh, this is the best he's ever been, and it might be, but then you think like, this is a guy that, I mean, he got to 100 points in that goofy COVID season, which is crazy. He's had 150 points in this league before. Like he's had 64 goals in a season before. So I'm sure, well, he's had a lot of great runs, but yeah, listen, there's something to be said for the last month. So now it's 31 points in 11 games. He may not have quite been on a run like this. And then also, it's kind of pulling the Oilers back into, now they're tied for first in the division. The thing that I don't remember seeing from McDavid before, and this is just aesthetics, but every night, and they didn't get one last night, which was a shock, but every night he scores a highlight reel goal. Like every night he's scoring a goal that is a candidate for goal of the year, which I don't know if I've seen that before.
Yeah. He's back to essentially video game mode where when he picks the puck up, whether it be in the neutral zone, high in the defensive zone, and he's got the head of steam moving downhill, like he looks like an NFL running back in their prime, like Tomlinson or Henry or whatever. Like it is just unstoppable, impossible to defend. And you talk about the penalty shot percentage and stuff. I've said this on the show a lot. Like when that is happening, if you're a defender, it's almost like just take the penalty. Like hope that your kill and your goalie might be able to bail you out over the course of 2 minutes, because I do think there's something to be said about like in those moments when he zips past 3 different defenders, like the goalie is so much on his heels after watching him go through guys that I think you have a better chance of killing off the penalty, which in itself is crazy to say because of what we just said at the rate that it's moving right now. So it's extra special for the Oilers. They're obviously playing much better as a full unit, but propelled by their top players. Leon Draisaitl snapping his goalless streak last night in a big way, the 3 power play goals for the hat trick. Walks on the Flames.
One quick thing I'm
go ahead.
And you're right about going downhill. Like, I mean, he's always had that, right? Like that, he's had that from his rookie season,
right.
Going through Columbus or whatever. I think that the biggest, growth in his game. I don't know if I've ever seen him so good down low. Like the way he's spinning off guys and taking passes and picking pucks off the wall. I'm not sure if I've ever, and you accompany that with a willingness to shoot. Like now he's got 23 goals and it's not always looking seam. I think that element of his game perhaps has never been better. Yeah. Even though Low Tide was ready to put him out to pasture.
yeah, we'll have to make sure Low Tide's going to hop on with us at 10 o'clock. We'll have to make sure to bring that up. I'm sure he hasn't heard it enough.
On that. Yeah, he's gone on record saying he was maybe a little too excited.
Yeah, well, hey, maybe that's maybe Connor himself caught wind and be like, Low Tide's calling me out. This can't stand. I gotta kick things back into high gear here.
No, it's the low down bump for sure.
Exactly. Walks. Listen, you've worked in the Calgary market before. You've seen the team up close and personal. I just can't comprehend the direction of this team because, they've got some good players. They do play gritty at times. We've seen it in the last recent stretch, but I just can't wrap my head around directionally as a franchise because last night, sure, maybe it was one of the Flames' worst games and maybe one of the Oilers' best, but they were not in the same sphere last night. And if it weren't for Dustin Wolf, this would have been a 10-1 hockey game. Like I can't see a world where the Flames are a playoff team, but they are gritty enough to play that they're once again going to be picking somewhere between 12th and 15th.
I think it's really, I appreciate it because guys are competitive. They want to win.
Right.
Their general manager is Craig Conroy. He's a real competitor. He wants to win. He loves to beat Edmonton. I love Connie. But they do. They play gritty enough where, and they got some good young players and, they can always, it seems they can convince themselves that they're ready to compete. Vancouver's going through the same thing. Like even now, like they're talking about some like, hybrid retool. Why? Because Zeev Weems had a few good games. Like guys, come on. But, the decade of darkness, the Oilers, this is how bad they were. It's that they didn't even have that dilemma of like, can we compete now? Like they were trying to compete and they were bad, right? Like it was awful. But for Calgary, like they need, I think the fan base deep down knows it, but they're 6-3-1 in their last 10. They're coming off scoring 6 against Vegas. And I think as a fan, it's always easy to be like, maybe we turn the corner. But, when I look at Calgary, it's like, you don't want to get mad at the fans too much because it's like, it's okay to be excited about young players like Zary. I like Zary. I like Coronado. They got a couple, nice young defensemen and, Zane Parek's not ready, but he looks to be, one of the next really good offensive defensemen in this league, perhaps. Who knows? Dustin Wolf. Like, I like all those guys. The problem is everybody has those guys. Everybody does, right? Like every team has a collection of guys that you like. But as a fan, you get fixated on yours. But like every team has a Zary and a Coronado. Like it's not special. So they need a few more games like last night. And it's good for Calgary that Edmonton did it because they need to be, and all of a sudden, Seattle's won a couple games, right? Because they look like they were all of a sudden heading for maybe the bottom of the lottery. Calgary needs to get right down there. They need to top 5 pick conservatively. And the only way to do that is to just shell your roster. Like it's the only way. And they probably will, right? Like Anderson's going to be dealt and they'll trade Coleman for sure, who's an interesting guy, but it's not close. And the other thing about the Calgary market and this goes back to the 80s, but like Calgary is very obsessed with Edmonton, way more so than Edmonton is obsessed with Calgary. And I think it's just the whole big brother, little brother syndrome. And they hate nights like last night. Right. And when they're opening, Yeah, and when they're opening up their new arena, this has been the discussion internally down in Calgary. Like, when we open the arena, it's going to be a long time coming, right? The Saddle Dome's finally done. We want a good team when we get in this building, because we cannot have our inaugural season in our beautiful new arena, which, by the way, is going to be nicer than Edmonton. We can't have McDavid and Draisaitl come in here and kick our ass twice a year. We can't have that. So that's what they're building towards. But the only way to hit that plateau is probably another year or two of bottoming out, and they have to do it.
Yeah. Andrew Walker with us here on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. Walks, of course, the host of our pre and post game action. They'll be back at it Saturday night. What's puck drop Saturday night? Is it an 8 o'clock down in Calgary?
Yeah, it's the second
half of the Hockey Night in Canada, right?
And McDavid's on after hours.
Yeah, I heard them mention that on the broadcast last night, which is pretty exciting. So 7 o'clock, you and Donnie will be back here in studio to get everybody teed up for it. In the meantime, your Lions playing Christmas Day tomorrow. The only team really with something to play for. Broncos going for a little bit of seeding, of course, but it should be a great day of NFL football walks. We got Sam Hartman, Max Brosmer, Chris Oladukin, all suiting up for their respective clubs. What are you pegging your Lions' chances at here? They're going to need a little help as well as taking care of their own business to squeeze into a final playoff spot.
I don't know what any of those things are you just said.
Yeah, you and me both, man.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard being an NFL fan because the window is just so fast, right? And with the Lions, if this is any other sport, you're like, oh boy, they're building things up. They got Campbell, and Jahmyr Gibbs might be the best player in the NFL, and it's over. Like this era of Lions football is already over. They had a Super Bowl team last year and perhaps this year, and their entire defense got hurt. And and when you can't stop anybody, you lose games. So they're not. It would take a miracle to get in now. But that the season ended with that play against Pittsburgh last week, which sucks. But they last year especially, they definitely had the team. And the year before, where they lost to San Fran in the NFC title game, that they probably weren't quite ready. But last year was the year, and this year they had a chance too, and so many injuries. So yeah, I mean they're going to be a good team, but moving forward. But listen, it's like already the changing of the guard, right? Ben Johnson goes to Chicago, and the Bears are going to run the NFC North for the next 5 years.
Yeah, they're having themselves a great season, and that losing both coordinators for Detroit, I really don't think, especially when one of them at least is as good as Ben Johnson, it really can't be understated the impact on top of all the injuries, like you said, on the defensive side of the ball. So I'm rooting for the Lions tomorrow. I hope they keep it interesting down the stretch here. If Green Bay can maybe drop a Saturday night tilt against the Ravens, but. Listen, there's football on tomorrow. I'll be watching. I'm sure you'll be watching, if nothing else, the Lions game. So, listen, Walks, I know I'll see you later this afternoon. We got one final skate here before we jet off for our Christmas time with the families. But on behalf of, the morning show, the station, Merry Christmas to you and Ange and the rest of the family. Always appreciate you hopping on, especially in these early morning slots. Have a great holiday, and I will see you later on this afternoon.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime, guys. I'm always up for these. These pallets aren't going to sell themselves. And Merry Christmas to everybody, and thanks for listening.
Attaboy. Well, Andrew Walker, host of our Sports 1440 pre and post game show. Him and Donnie have you before and after every Oilers game this season. They'll be back at it Saturday night, 7 o'clock pregame, starting ahead of the Hockey Night in Canada tilt between the Oilers and Flames down in Calgary. That is our puck report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. At Fountain Tire, when we say we're on this road together, we mean it. From tires, wheels, and oil changes to vehicle repairs, visit fountaintire.com to find out more. When we come back, we will hear a best of interview from the past year. John Mirasty, Nasty Mirasty, longtime enforcer, one of the most likable guys that have made their way around the hockey circles. He joined Kevin earlier this summer, right after a little cameo appearance at the Calgary Stampede aboard a chuck wagon during the post lap or post-race interviews down at the Stampede. So we'll hear that when we return. Mark Spector coming up at the top of the hour for more Oilers talk. Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick in studio with you. It's the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake. But it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. But what's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise-style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee, still just $1 plus tax every day. And see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Everyone's a winner during Wish and Win at Wolf GMC Buick. But hurry, it ends January 2nd. Every single customer is guaranteed at least a $500 bonus with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. At Wolf GMC Buick, we also have 0% financing up to 84 months on most of our popular SUVs and trucks. And we're clearing out remaining 25s, including cash discounts up to $10,000 on a great selection of Sierra HDs. But hurry in now, it ends January 2nd.
Wolf GMC Buick,
where everyone wins.
At this special time of year, McEwen's Fuels and Fertilizers extends best wishes for a happy holiday season and sincere thanks for your goodwill throughout the year. Merry Christmas from all the staff at McEwen's Fuels and Fertilizers, proudly serving Alberta's capital region since 1980.
Oh, 'tis the season to find the perfect gift at the perfect price at Leduc Goldsmiths.
The annual Christmas sale is on now with 10 to 25% off all in-store products. All natural and lab-created diamond engagement rings up to 25% off with a wide selection available. You'll have no trouble finding the right piece. The team at Leduc Goldsmiths have years of expertise to help find what you need. Leduc Goldsmiths on Main Street, Leduc. Leduc's Jewelry Store, family owned and operated for over 30 years.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
Whoa, what a banger. Way to go, Josh. Welcome back to the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440, 742. Happy Christmas Eve to everybody out there. Whatever you're doing this morning, we appreciate you bringing us along with you. If you got the day off, if you're putting in a morning shift, or maybe you are still nose to the grindstone, essential worker. Maybe you're working, getting ready for a big day of retail here. People like myself still got a little last minute Christmas shopping to do. Appreciate it. Appreciate your services out there. Text line 1-833-401-1440. You can get in your thoughts on last night's Oilers win. What's let us know. What do you got coming up here over the next couple of days when we are going to be off? Hopefully you get some time off to celebrate the holidays with friends, family, whomever. King of Fort Nasty chiming in. Glad to have the King along this morning. Morning, Duke, Fenny, and Donnie. Ooh, King. No Donnie this morning. Donnie, we gave him the day off after last night's post-game action, but he says the Oilers' power play is almost as guaranteed as the exec making his staff work on Christmas Day. Cheers, King of Fort Nasty. Yeah, that's all very on brand for Donovan, for sure. He would, if he were in charge, he'd have us in here tomorrow pulling the full day shift. Let's not wait a moment longer because we got spec coming up at the top of the hour. Earlier this summer, July 22nd, as a matter of fact, John Nasty Morasti, one of the most feared enforcers that have played the game of hockey in the modern era. He hopped on with Kevin talking about his career, his role on Shoresy as one of the gyms, and here is parts of that conversation.
We welcome in John Morasti to the show. Morning, John. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Doing great. All my buddies from Meadow Lake are texting me this morning, John, when they heard that you were going to be on. And I just got one from a buddy, Slits Ross, that said he was home at Christmas and you would have been playing with the Stampeders. He said that you were about 14 or 15, 16 years old. He says you kept trying to fight anyone, but there were no takers back when you were playing for the Meadow Lake Stampeders. Wow. Long time ago, huh?
I had quite the unique upbringing in hockey. I didn't do it the original way, going through the junior ranks. I played a little bit of bantam and then went straight to senior. And then that's kind of how I got recruited to the Kindersley Clippers my first year junior.
Yeah, so you were in Kindersley. 25 years ago. What was that like? You had, I'm just looking, you had over 300 PIMs that year.
Oh, yeah. No, Kindersley was a great town. It was an awesome opportunity to start my career. And, the following year I ended up winning the Western Hockey League for a few years. And the rest is kind of history. But senior hockey is what got my foot in the door. Good old Saskatchewan senior hockey.
Yeah, no kidding. There's so many good senior leagues. I remember even when I was working in Prince Albert, John, years and years ago in the 90s, I went out to Turtleford and played a few games with the old Tigers back in that day. You were playing in that league as well then, I guess, right?
Could have been, yeah. I'm not too sure. I mean, I kind of played up and down. I was still, I think, 15 or 14 years old. So my priority was to play on the bantam team. But yeah, when they were short guys, I'd always get the call to go play with the old guys and enjoyed it. They made me grow up a lot faster than I had to.
Yeah, no kidding. So you've branched off. Before we get to the Shoresy and how you were cast for that and how much you enjoy, maybe just touch on your career. And you mentioned when you went from Kindersley to the Western League and played in PA and Moose Jaw, but your first real taste of pro was with Bakersfield. They weren't associated with and affiliated with the Oilers at the time. They are now, as you know. But what was that experience like when you went to the East Coast League in Bakersfield? Because that's what when they were when you played there, they weren't in the AHL yet. It was the East Coast League.
Yeah, it was an opportunity that arose. I actually quit hockey as a 20-year-old and had the birth of my first son, Tristan. So, I took the whole family route and was enrolled in university and going to school. And late into the season, late into the fall, I started getting phone calls about maybe going to play again. And Bakersfield ended up convincing me to leave school and head down south and play. And I'll be honest, at that time, I was just going to try taste it out and see how it was. And a bit scared too, going out on a 20-year-old kid and going to fight the older guys. Now, I, to be honest, was kind of scared, but scared is a good thing for me because, I always, when I wasn't scared is when I did worse in fights. So going down there and basically, I had a really good season that year. I got Rookie of the Year and had a hell of a lot of penalty minutes, a lot of fights and opened some eyes. And that kind of started my professional career. I ended up going, as you probably know, I ended up playing all over the world, playing in, the famous Danbury Trashers during the 2004-2005 lockout. Played in Russia in the KHL, got to play in the famous Quebec Senior League where there's lots of fighting. And another thing, like I said, how my career has been very, not the traditional way. I was at one point playing in the Quebec Senior League and quit hockey and was at home. And a year later, I was on the NHL ice surface with the Columbus Blue Jackets. So pretty unique way of paving my way to the professional ranks. And but along that way as well, I met a lot of wonderful people and basically hockey made me who I am today. And which is also another reason what led me to Shoresy.
Yeah, cool story. John Morasti with us on Sports 1440. When you had that good run of about 3-4 years in Syracuse with the Crunch, was that at a point, John, where you thought, oh man, I think I might be able to get a call up to the NHL and would have been a realization of a dream? Was that where you probably felt you were the closest?
Oh, definitely. I did have some opportunities. I was even in talks with the Edmonton Oilers at one point after our first year there. We had a big run, and we broke the AHL record. We won the most consecutive games. I think at Christmas time we were in dead last place, and by the end of the year we were in first place. And we were kind of like the old Hanson brothers or Slapshot. We didn't do it the pretty way. We kind of intimidated, and the rink was sold out before warmups even started because there was always going to be some action in warmups. But it's like I said, created a lot of opportunities, and yeah, that was probably the closest I ever got, and was having a lot of talks and opportunities and broken promises. But at the end of the day, towards the end of my career, towards the end of my American League career, I knew that maybe that was fading away. So that's when I decided to jump the pond and go over to the KHL.
Kind of a double parter. When did you first get the nickname Nasty? And this is from Northside Oil Rig, a texter. Are there any particular players' fights that John found that were his toughest? Maybe you can touch on both those, John.
Well, the nickname Nasty kind of came along, towards the middle of my junior career. Obviously having the last name Morasti, it kind of just rhymed. And to be honest, I didn't really like it at first, but it's kind of worn itself on me. And I know it's between Nasty and Jim now. I get called because my character on Shorzy is Jim. So as far as the best fights that I've had, I hate picking any best fights because I've fought a lot of tough guys and respected them all. But I think the ones that stand out the most are, fights against my good friend Jeremy Oblonsky, who's another Meadow Lake boy. Fighting Steve McIntyre was really, I had a lot of respect for Big Steve. He's a big man and throws hard. And I think he was actually underrated, to be honest. I think if that guy would have had his mean streak when he was 22 years old, he would have been one of the best to do it for an entire career. But, he's a big friendly cowboy at the same time. But I can tell you right for sure he hits hard. So, but like I said, there's been so many fights that I've been in that I don't really pinpoint one or two favorite ones. I always would like to be entertaining and not hold on and hug and throw. And maybe I regret that later in my life because it was a fun go, but I don't regret anything. It's been a blast. And even the fighting side of the game is some of the fighters are some of the best players, are best people off the ice to be able to give back to the community and stuff. So, I know, if you look in Edmonton, a lot of your past enforcers are still there to this day, giving back to the community. And that's something that I really pride myself on is the fans, because that's kind of what, paid my salary and made me who I am. So, I'm going to continue to intermingle with them and keep pushing forward.
We had a texter last week as we're speaking with John Morasti on the Kevin Carey Show on Sports 1440 about, you mentioned Steve McIntyre. He was here, and I've been able to skate with Steve at several alumni skates. And that is a monster of a guy. How are you able to just kind of dance around with one of the bigger heavyweights at the game scene?
To be honest, it was those are the ones that I actually preferred fighting. It was the guys that were my size that I found a lot tougher. Big guys like that, like the late Derek Boogaard and stuff. When you'd fight those guys, they're so damn big that they're throwing at you from a mile away, so you could kind of read the punch. And I guess the only negative side of that is if they connect, it's going to hurt. But it's like I said, it's just, I think for me, I like to be challenged. I like to be the underdog. I like to be told I couldn't do it. That's kind of what pushed me and continues to push me. There's a lot of people say that I can't do stuff, and I continue to do it. So just trying to be a positive role model with the community and stuff and for the youth is what I really, want to do. And there's a lot of negativity in our world nowadays. So it's nice to have some positivity out there.
Yeah, one other guy, I've known him since he was 5 years old and probably in the Quebec League there as a senior, Derek Parker. Did you remember him? He was a big dude too.
Oh yeah, I remember Derek. Yeah, he's he's been along over a long time. He's really went through the trenches. He's probably a good veteran now.
Mm-hmm. Text rolling in. Sham says, KK, outstanding guest, really well spoken, great attitude. From Sham Gordoyle says, great guest as well, as we're speaking with John Morasti. So Shorzy, now this is another stage of your life. How did this opportunity come presented to you to be cast for Shorzy?
It's kind of actually a pretty funny story, to be honest, because as I said, I'm a horse guy, a country boy. I live in the land. I love to hunt and fish and be with my horses. So when I'm in leadership at Flying Dust, obviously our contacts, our emails are made public. So I had to receive a lot of, fan mail from my career and stuff. But I got an email one summer, basically from I say some lady, but the some lady actually turned out to be a pretty big deal. Was Kara Haffitz, and she's one of the producers for Shorzy, and Letterkenny, and she's kind of Jared's right hand girl. Without her, nothing really happens. But anyways, I got an email just basically asking that, Jared Kiso is a huge hockey fan. I'm sure your Oilers fans aren't going to like this, but he's a huge Calgary Flames fan. So, but the guy knows everything about hockey fights. He knows more about hockey fighting than I do, and was kind of a fan of myself that followed me in my fights. So she basically just said, he's really interested in having you in part of a spin-off of Letterkenny. And at that time, I didn't even know what Letterkenny was. And No, so it's obviously a pretty cool opportunity, but at the other side, I'm thinking it's kind of a joke, right? Because I'm a 38-year-old retired hockey player, and who the hell's going to want to watch me on TV? So went home that night and told my wife, some TV show called Letterkenny is interested in having me on there. And we went to YouTube and watched a few clips. And the first thing I thought was, wow, is this stupid? But yeah, anyways, long story short, went to a couple, dinner parties with my wife. She's a nurse, and it was pretty funny because I called a couple of these. I always said Letterkenny and Shorty is more like a redneck, mid-aged 20-year-old to 40-year-old man show. And so anyways, I told these guys, I said, yeah, I'm going to be on some TV show called Letterkenny. And the guy's eyes opened so big. He's like, you're going to be on Letterkenny? He says, come here, I got to show you this. And, he took me to his living room, and he had pretty much every DVD of the Letterkenny series.
Wow.
So I kind of had a giggle to myself, but I didn't even respond to the lady that I would do it. I ended up going on vacation for a couple of weeks in California, where my wife's from. And when I'm on vacation, I never respond to my emails. So while I was gone, she had responded and wanted me to send in like a little addition, basically read a few words and videotape myself. And I missed the deadline by about 2 weeks. So when I got back, I wrote back and explained that I don't check my work email. And within 5 minutes, I got a phone call and says, no, it doesn't matter. He wants you here on a plane. Can you be here? And 5 years later, it's turned out to be a pretty successful TV series. And, I can't say enough about Jared Key. So the guy's just fabulous, and he's a genius at what he does, and really makes me proud that he interprets a lot of the Indigenous side of it too. So there's a lot of Indigenous representation there. The Nolan brothers, Jordan Nolan played for the LA Kings, and Brandon and myself. And, there's a lot of hockey players there. So really good opportunity. I know you mentioned the Edmonton Oilers alumni. I know we're in the talks right now with playing the Shoresy Fall Classic in Edmonton at one time. So maybe you can dress up there and challenge me.
Yeah, get fed all game.
Yeah, we are in November. We're heading to the East Coast. We're going to be in LA, or sorry, not LA, Detroit, Toronto, Boston, New York Islanders. There was talks of Nashville and then LA. And then, there's talks of us coming up to doing a Western Canada swing with Edmonton, LA, or Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, and then possibly over the pond to Australia. So pretty exciting times in the next few months.
Yeah, so this has kind of just been released, actually, with this Shoresy Classic that you're talking about, John. And again, it starts on November 24th in Detroit, Little Caesars Arena. It'll go to Toronto, Scotiabank Arena, Boston, at the TD Garden, and then in New York and LA, as you mentioned. So this has got to be, such a cool thing to be a part of. When you think about it, and again, you're gym number 1 and Brandon Nolan's gym number 2, Jordan's gym number 3.
I think you need to rephrase it. I'm Jim, the best looking Jim. That's what I say.
Why wouldn't you be? That'd be such a neat thing to be a part of.
Oh, definitely. Like I think the thing that amazed me was the popularity. It was sold out at every rink. That's why they're moving to bigger venues now. We did play at the Little Caesars, which they called a sellout. We were in Boston last year. Same thing was a sellout, but at that time we had played in where the Boston University plays. So it was a college rink that sat about 10,000. So now they're moving to the bigger rink. So like I said, very, very popular and quite a big following, talking to fans in the back that came from Ireland and Europe. And, I was down in Texas earlier, El Paso, Texas earlier this year. And even there, I couldn't believe, I'm only 5 minutes from the Mexican border, and there was nothing but a lot of Shoresy fans there. So it's really nice to see the support that the TV show gets and the following that it has.
And then there was a tilt, you and Mark Fraser, right, at Maple Leaf Gardens.
It actually started off in Detroit. I'm 5 for 5 in charity games of fighting. We were in Detroit, and Darren McCarty came up to me and goes, "Hey man, I watched every single one of your fights. We need to put a show on." And I'm thinking, this is a charity game. So I said, well, let me talk to the the head office guys and see what they say, because obviously there's insurance issues and stuff like that. And they said, no, go for it. Just be careful. So we went out, and obviously we had a fight. It was a charity game, so I'm not trying to hit for real.
Yeah.
And then from there we moved on to Buffalo, and same thing in Buffalo. The head office in Buffalo come and said, "Hey, that went viral. We got to do this again in Buffalo." So I ended up being able to tango with one of my good friends, Zenon Konopka, who was a teammate of mine for quite a few years. And he took it to the next level, though. He's pulled some WWE. He went in before the fight and split himself open with a razor.
Oh.
So in the middle of a fake fight, he's bleeding all over the place, and it's going in my face. So I had to think twice about that. And my good friend takes it to the limits.
Well,
there you go. John Nasty Morasti, the longtime enforcer, great storyteller, very well spoken. And of course, one of the mini stars of Shorzy, along with our friend Terry Ryan, one of the co-hosts here on the Jason Gregor Show. Right after the break, we're going to have Mark Spector with us from Rogers Sportsnet. One final pre-Christmas chat with Spec. We'll talk about last night's Oilers game, look ahead to the rematch on Saturday night for Hockey Night in Canada. Before that, let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Nectar.io. Learn more about how we can help your business automate processes, streamline operations, and save money at Nectar.io. Nectar.io, your business made better. Here is Josh Fenwick.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Last night in Rogers Place, the Oilers beat the brakes off the Flames, winning 5-1. The Leafs toppled the Penguins, Red Wings over the Stars, Rangers smoked the Capitals, Habs run over the Bruins, and the Knights toppled the Sharks. On the hardwood last night, the Raptors take the win on the road in Miami, winning 112-91 on away court. The Spurs handled Thunder, their third loss in 5 games, winning 130-110 in San Antonio. Breaking news out of Live Golf, Brooks Koepka is leaving the LIV Golf Tour, possibly returning to the PGA. Also on the gridiron, Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf will sit out the final 2 games of the regular season after suspension for violating league policy in an altercation with a fan in Detroit on Sunday was upheld on appeal. Coming up on the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector and have more best of interviews from the year of 2025. I'm Josh Fenwick. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the Power Play 24/7 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
As 2025 comes to a close, GS Construction would like to take the time and thank our crews, our partners, and our communities for another successful year of teamwork and growth. Together, we've helped keep Edmonton and the surrounding area moving by building and maintaining the underground infrastructure that keeps everything running smoothly. It's been another year of dedication, pride, and hard work the team has put in to make it all possible. To learn more about our people and our projects, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Every lunchtime, hang with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. Low Tide and Declan Kruger gives you the deep dives, sharp analysis, and Edmonton sports talk done right. Your game, your station, Sports 1440. Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
8:03, welcome back into the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick in for Kevin this morning. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve to all of you out there. Hope you're having a great start to the holiday season. It's time now, as always, at 8 o'clock for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. It is a December to remember. Save thousands on new and pre-owned inventory. Great selection, great people at NorthgateGM.com. We welcome in Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Spec.
How's it going, man?
Eve to you. How are you doing on the 24th morn?
Well, I got a long list of things still to pick up here. Shop, not like gifts, but got to go to get some food and get some stuff ready. Maybe stop at the liquor store. Got a couple things to entertain here. So let's go, man. Let's start the holiday. We only have about 3 days, so let's start enjoying it.
It's kind of nice this year, the way it works out for a Thursday, Friday of Christmas and Boxing Day. I know you'll still be hard at work in preparation for Saturday night's return affair. Are you going to head down to Calgary for Saturday's game?
No, I'm not heading down to Calgary Saturday. Okay. I'm going to stay up here.
Yeah, I don't know if the travel is going to be very accommodating to make that happen for a lot of people. So a big snow dump expected to come here around.
Yeah, that's what they say. So no, I love to go. I think it'll be a competitive game because Calgary really got embarrassed last night.
Yeah,
a 5-1 game that should have been about 9-1. And just reading comments from people in Calgary and talking to my colleague Eric Francis, no one down there was under any illusion that the Flames pushed back nearly hard enough last night.
And that's kind of where I'm a little bit torn on it, Spec, is like, yeah, they clearly get run out of the building. Like, it was not close. That they kept it within a couple goals the first half of the hockey game, but even with that being said, it was largely on the back of the goaltender that the game was close, right? So yeah. The Flames push back from a physical element, right? Not going away quietly, trying to rough it up and take a piece of skin with them for the rematch on Saturday night. I know you're an old-time hockey guy. Do you like to see that out of a team? Or at that point, do you say, listen, take your losses, regroup, and come back with a better effort because you get to play them again in a couple days?
I mean, do something, I guess. Like, I like Ball running around. He hit Hyman.
Mm-hmm.
He lined up Hyman pretty well. That first hit, I didn't mind the hit. I didn't think it was a bad hit.
No.
I forget who it was. Anderson put the hip out on Hyman later on. It could have been a little late, maybe a 2-minute penalty, but not whatever. It's hockey. Like, I don't mind the fact that they continued. Some of their guys competed physically.
Mm-hmm.
They clearly couldn't last night compete, and beat Edmonton at hockey. So they tried to beat them at whatever they could. I got no problem with that, man.
Yeah.
Weegar was the guy, like, as a leader. What we're finding here with these Oilers now is if you get into a power play war with them, you're sunk.
Absolutely.
If you get into one of these games where everyone's taking penalties, and even if you get 5 power plays and Edmonton gets 5 power plays, that's disadvantage you.
Mm-hmm.
So for Weegar to, he slashes that stick out of Nurse's hand. That's 2 minutes every day from every ref in every rink. Then you bang your stick at him while you skate past him and you bang it in the penalty box. That's 10 minutes every day. And then after the ref gives you 10, you bang your stick 3-4 more times. I mean, you're just asking the ref to throw you out, and that's what he did. And that was poor leadership on Weegar's part.
Yeah, I was really confused by that. I really liked Mackenzie Weegar as a player last year.
Yeah.
I was a big proponent of him going to play for Team Canada, the Four Nations, as one of the final defensemen. But and then Olympics this year, I mean, he just simply was too poor to start the season to keep himself in consideration, I think. But that was really, really baffling. It almost kind of seemed like he had plans to hop on a plane and head out of the country for a few days here over the Christmas break because he wanted an early night. Really confusing. And what at that time was still a close hockey game and close in the sense of the score, maybe not indicative of the play on the ice necessarily.
Yeah, no, he sewered his team. He gave an extra
He's
power
your best
play.
defenseman, all-around guy.
He is. He's an important player. So him not being there really kills you the rest of the game. The immediate power plays hurt you. The open show of frustration from one of your leaders just told everyone in the building that the Flames are frustrated because they fill in the blank. They know they're not good enough. They know they're losing the game. Your leader can't show open frustration like that.
No,
to that extent. Like, that was people. I heard a lot of people say that's a dumb game misconduct, but when I watched the replay, like, he just went from 2 to 10 to a game with every set of banging his stick. Like, he's just asking for it. if I'm a referee, and every referee I know would have made the same call. So dumb play, poor leadership. He'll wake up this morning and not be real happy with himself.
I would think so. And like I said, he kind of gets it, the warning with the first 10. All right, yeah, you take yourself out of the game for 12 minutes, but that's not nearly as badly as more than half of the hockey game that you're going to be leaving your team out to dry with just 5.
You bail on your team, right? You bail. You're like, I'm out of here, guys.
7th game.
Yeah, I'm out of here, guys. You
right?
deal with this now, right? Yeah. And that's not leadership. And he knows it. He's a really good player and a smart guy and all that. He just snapped last night and helped his team lose. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet with us here on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. Brandon Douglas sitting in for Kevin again this morning. So, Spec, on the Oilers side of things, a really strong showing, both ends of the ice. The power play, we talked about it with Walker off the hop this morning. It's back to the level where you essentially expect them to score every time they roll out a man advantage unit. The penalty kill was rock solid. They defended quite well. Connor Ingram was solid, if unspectacular. Didn't have to be, right? Didn't have to make very many, if any, big saves. I said this number to our producer this morning, Josh Fenwick, Spec. I'll say it to you. The Flames had as many high danger chances in the game last night at 5-on-5 as the Oilers did shorthanded in the game with 2.
It's not right.
Pretty tough to win a hockey game that way, but two pretty different tier of teams on the ice last night, and the Oilers were quite exceptional, led by their superstars.
Yeah, when those guys lead you that way, everyone falls into place. Like there's a subset of Oilers players who know that they just have to defend and play smart hockey. And if offense happens, it happens. But when the bottom 6 doesn't need to force any offense on this team, not when the top 6 in the power play is getting you 5 a night. So that just makes for a more sound hockey team. No one has to take a chance offensively. Obviously, leading all the time is good, and their goalie's leaving nothing around. I thought that Ingram was really just tidy. Like he didn't leave a puck sitting around for Calgary to deposit and get a little life. He smothered everything. He put his rebounds into corners. That's 2 good games in a row for this kid. He's on the comeback trail here. He's turning into a pretty good story, and let's see where it goes, man. Maybe all this talk about having a 1A and a 1B, maybe that includes, the return of Jari and the rise of Ingram, and who's playing the first playoff game. I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself, but who knows where this story's going.
Well, it is getting ahead of yourself, but at the same time, with that win last night, Vegas won as well, so they grabbed 2 points, but it's a 3-way tie now atop the Pacific Division amongst the Oilers, the Ducks, and the VGK. If I had said that to you, I don't know, maybe let's just say start of November, even mid-November, would have you believed it to be possible at that time, Spec? We knew the Oilers were capable of more, but that they have really been playing some quality hockey overall on aggregate here in the last month.
Yeah, I think there's 2 things here. Like the Oilers have found their game, as I think we all thought they would, to a really good degree. They've made it through the hard part of the schedule. Like pre-Christmas was way tougher than what's left now, right? Way tougher. Killer schedule. When I heard McDavid say last night, I kind of like the schedule. It suits me. I thought, oh my God, you think the rest of the league wants to hear that? And I think the other thing is, in the last couple of years, there's been a team that ran away. Like 2 years ago, Vancouver of all teams ran away on everybody, and no one did catch them. And last year, Vegas ran away on everybody. And this year, it's Anaheim. And I think we all, I like Anaheim, and I'm happy to see they're into the next phase here. They're a pretty good team. No one thinks that they're not going to back up a little bit in the second half. And it's there for Edmonton. They haven't won a division for a long, long time. And at this point, I think anyone, due respect to Vegas, but their schedule, I assume, is going to be a little tougher than Edmonton's. I would tell you that anyone across the league handicapping this Pacific, looking at what's left here, the last 45 games or whatever it is, I would say Edmonton has got to be favored to win the Pacific. The door's wide open for them this year.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to check a sportsbook and see exactly what the prices are, because I think Vegas and Edmonton would both be right there as the clear-cut favorites. Yeah. If not, like you said, Edmonton maybe with a slight edge because of their favorable road trip schedule coming up in the second half of the year. As Sportsnet's Mark Spector guesting with us here on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. So Trent Frederic, Spec, we spent quite a bit of time talking about him yesterday, and you and I were in the same camp of agreeing that if we were the coach, which we're obviously not, we would leave him out of the lineup and then maybe give him a chance to reassert himself in what we, even before last night, thought would be a pretty heated affair Saturday night in Calgary. He gets the look, gets the nod from the coach to jump back in, got in a fight. But apart from that, what did you make of his game? Did you see enough from him to say, all right, this is a step in the positive direction?
Yeah, I think so. I thought he had more jump. I thought he was more involved. He put a few shots on goal. I'm not going to tell you that he blew my socks off, but he's a pretty fragile player at this point. In the big picture, he's going through a lot. And as the coach said yesterday, Knobloch, he's just putting so much pressure on himself that, it's hard to operate and play well in that scenario. So I thought that what he did last night that I liked was Kevin Ball was going at it with Darnell Nurse every chance he got. He was he put a nice hit on Hyman. I thought Frederick found a role like that. To me, at the stage of Frederick's tenure in his career and his role, that should be his fight. That's where he should put his hand up and say, okay, my job is to get Kevin Ball off of Darnell Nurse. Why are we going to allow a 23-minute defenseman to take this fight? I'm a third or fourth line guy. This is my fight. And I liked the fact that he stepped in. Ball's bigger than he is, and he did just great in the fight, and all that's good, like win, lose, or draw. He put his hand up and said, this is my role. This is my job to take this fight, not somebody else. And that's a place to start. I've been saying for weeks, he just needs to find some ownership of a role. Something where he knows, okay, it's my turn to lead. It's my turn to do this. And I'm not telling you he's fighting every night. There's not a fight to be had every night. But in that occasion, he identified something that he could do, help the team, get someone off Nurse's back, and he did exactly that. I thought he did a nice job with it.
So, and just sticking with Darnell Nurse for a moment, Spec, like this is a guy that gets criticized a ton on this team in this city going back to, well, let's just call it his whole career as an NHLer, and sometimes very rightfully so. Do we give him enough credit for the kind of the profile he has around the league that he is very often seemingly willing to engage with other players in a fight or some extracurricular physical stuff? It does not seem that very many other players around the league are willing to go with him. And we often say we want him to play more physical and get in the mix more often. But last night, he was almost willing to drop it with anybody that would step to him. And it didn't really seem like anybody would on the Calgary side of the ledger.
Yeah, I mean, short answer is yes. I think, he's a presence. Like, I'm not telling you no one wants to fight him because he's so tough. There's lots of guys out there who will fight him because there's lots of tough guys. He's a handful of scrap. I mean, he's 6'4" or 5. He's got a long reach. Like, he's a tough guy to fight, man. That body type is not easy, and he's reasonably good at it. Like, he's tough and ready. He gets a bad rap in this town for one reason and one reason only, because he makes so much money. He's that guy on the team that is makes enough money and doesn't produce enough points that people are always on him. He's a huge part of why the Oilers have had success. He's a big part of the team. He wears an A, but in the room, on the ice, he takes the tough shifts. He takes the other lines, other teams' best players. He plays tough minutes all the time. He's a really good player. If he was making 7, would we be having this conversation? Probably not. I think it's all a facet of 9 1/4. And that's just, there's a guy like this in almost every town. Go down south and ask some people about Huberdeau right now. See what they think, what they're getting for 10-5. He had no points and 1 shot on goal last night.
Yeah. Spec, great stuff as always. Do you got a little something special in the coffee this morning to celebrate the holidays getting underway?
No, a little early. I mean,
well, it says we got this here. We had our potluck. I don't know if you can see this on the chat here, Spec. So this is from Rig Hand Distillery. It is a chocolate chip cookie double coffee cream. And it's got all the station logos on here: K97, C-Dub, The Breeze, and then even us at Sports 1440 made the bottle this year. So big shout out to our friends at Rig Hand. And yeah, they're
here. Pour me a little bit in here, will you?
Yeah, pop on by in your travels this morning. You said you got some running around to do. We'll be happy to top you off to get you through your hustle and bustle of a Christmas Eve errand.
If you think I'm going anywhere near West Edmonton Mall today, man, you're insane.
Spec, have a great Christmas with the family. Send all of our best from here at Sports 1440 to the rest of your crew. It's been another great year. Kevin will be back on Monday to catch up on the weekend with you. Enjoy these couple of days off, and we'll look forward to reconvening next week. All
right, man. You too, Brandon. You and yours and everybody out there, have a great Christmas. Take some time with family. Get away from the TV a little bit, and drive safe, everyone. Be safe over the holidays. We'll talk to you Monday.
Awesome. Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet, our daily contributor here for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet. This truck's for you. When we come back, we will dip back into our best of interviews from the year. Tyson Barrie, the former Oiler, longtime NHLer, he will be with us going back to the end of August when he joined Kevin Karius and David Schlemko, fresh off of announcing his retirement from the NHL. That's around the corner. We'll also go in or out here with Josh before the hour is through. Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick with you here. It's the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Mr. Rooter decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing-based wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. You got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the outside, candy corn hose pips. Disgusting, but they get the job done.
To have your Yule clogs fixed, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake, but it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward. What's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee, still just $1 plus tax every day, and see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
Merry Christmas from Anu Gas Compression Consulting in Wetaskiwin. The management and staff would like to wish you a peaceful and happy holiday season. They thank you for your patronage this year and look forward to seeing you in 2026. Season's greetings from everyone at Anu Gas.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sani dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. December is here. Christmas shopping, Christmas wrapping, Christmas baking, grocery shopping. What about our vehicle? Does it need tires? It's not running? No problem. We got you covered. At Northgate GM, we have a tremendous selection of newer used vehicles, winter tires at cost, and of course, service with a smile. Come in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Do you got a time on Barry? It's a little bit shorter, isn't it? 11:47. Cool.
The Kevin Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
$8:24. Welcome back into the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. You can watch us on YouTube, Sports 1440 AM. We're also streaming along Facebook, X, Instagram, even over on Twitch, if that's your preferred method. And if you are just listening this morning, hey, we still appreciate that as well. iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, right on our own website, sports1440.ca, and of course the terrestrial, traditional AM radio dial. We're working through some best of interviews this morning, and I'll tell you what, I have such a hard time doing this every December. We get so many great guests each year, and a lot of them are very topical ones, right? They were talking about the games that are happening that day, the day previous, on and on. But occasionally you do get the chance to speak with some guys about broader topics. We heard from John Morasti, the former enforcer, longtime pro player, earlier this morning. And then back in August, we got to be joined by Tyson Barrie. He hopped on pretty shortly after announcing his retirement from the NHL. He joined Kevin Karius and David Schlemko. And this best of interview is going to be our headliner of the day. It's brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing. Draining clogged pipes like three-pointers for all your plumbing needs. Go to mrrooter.ca. So, yeah, this was from the end of August. Really fun conversation with Tyson, talking about his career and even a little bit of what's next around the corner for him. We've seen him do some work on Sportsnet this fall. All very exciting for one of the most likable guys in the game of hockey. Here is that conversation. There you go. Tyson Berry, back August 27th. He hopped on with Kevin and Schlemmer right after announcing his retirement from the NHL. Great career, great guy. Was really beloved here in Edmonton. Just unfortunately, more often than not, you see good players out the door just in efforts to make the team better. Part of the trade, of course, that brought Matthias Ekholm to Edmonton, going to 2 straight Stanley Cup finals in the process. That was our headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, your number 1 overall pick in your fantasy plumbing pool. That's MrRooter.ca. When we come back, we'll dip in for a little in or out put together by Josh Fenwick. And boy, I tell you what, there are some interesting topics here. He sent it to me just a little bit ago. We're going broad strokes. We're talking Oilers. We're talking Christmas. You won't want to miss it. Stay tuned with us here. It's the Kevin Karius Show. Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick with you. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we will hear another best of interview. Actually, a couple more best of interviews, Dwayne Mandrusiak, the Edmonton Elks longtime equipment manager, as well as new historian with the team. And then Paul Stewart, longtime NHL referee, will be with us, as well as a best of interview from earlier this year in 2025. All that, lots more to come. Here's Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Everyone's a winner during Wish and Win at Wolf GMC Buick. But hurry, it ends January 2nd. Every single customer is guaranteed at least a $500 bonus with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. At Wolf GMC Buick, we also have 0% financing up to 84 months on most of our popular SUVs and trucks. And we're clearing out remaining 25s, including cash discounts up to $10,000 on a great selection of Sierra HDs. But hurry in now, it ends January 2nd.
Wolf GMC Buick,
where everyone wins.
'Tis the season for Selly. Selly Sports Bar and Lounge. Take a break from the holiday hustle and bustle. Cheer on your favorite team and ask about the daily game night food and drink features. Plus, there's tons of TVs and Oilers watch parties this December and all season long. Selly Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Check it out.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Canada's own Crave is soaring to new heights and is now bigger and better than ever. Crave has added over 10,000 new hours of amazing content, including the biggest live events.
And the Oscar goes to?
Select live sports like golf and NASCAR. And even news.
We have exclusive details tonight.
Plus, hit shows and movies from 18 leading TV channels. And all at the same price. Crave, bigger, better, endlessly entertaining.
Jason Greger isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder. With over $2 million raised for local charities and his Greger Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Greger weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vimy and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Now for today's holiday special, Legacy Heating and Cooling saves Christmas. Santa's furnace broke down in the shop last night, and the elves couldn't make any toys, that's right, so Santa called up his pals at Legacy Heating. And ho, 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 golly gee, 1 year, no payments, interest-free, and the elves are working merrily with a brand new furnace from Legacy. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hard to believe it's already that time of year again. Time to get your festive aluminum pole at Metal Supermarkets, where the staff will be completing feats of strength to get your metal ready without any grievances. When your project needs a festive miracle, Metal Supermarkets offers in-house bending, often by the next day. Plus, metal cut to your exact specifications, fast. The convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
The wrapping paper is coming off. The gift box is opening, and the crowd goes wild. When they want sports in their stocking, you'll find gifts that score big at St. Albert's Source for Sports. Jerseys and accessories, baseball, bikes, all kinds of skates, and everything on.
It's all here, alongside expert advice from pros who know sports. Put the best sports brands under the tree for less with St. Albert's Source for Sports, your source for hockey and the best sports gifts for over 35 years.
And Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
Is this the Yankovic song? $8:44. Welcome back into the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. Brandon Douglas sitting in for Kevin this morning. Josh Fenwick alongside, double dipping this morning for old Fenny Fenwick, running the stream to keep us on online, YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, also on the ones and twos, keeping us audio moving and the show progressing as it usually does. That's a great track, Josh. That one came in on the request line from Hacksaw. Down from my neck of the woods. That's a Weird Al Christmas song. I've never heard that before. That might make its way onto my drive home playlist tonight.
It better.
Because the first whatever minute we let run there. How fun. I love Weird Al Yankovic. Back to like my childhood.
I've been to 2 Weird Al Yankovic concerts.
Oh, really?
I'm dead serious.
And like, does it live up to the hype?
The first one definitely did, because that was him doing his parody songs.
Right.
The second one was him doing like his originals, so it wasn't quite as good.
I honestly think I have only heard Weird Al Yankovic's parody songs.
Well,
I thought
like
that's
to
all he
think
did.
that, wouldn't you? But First World Problems, that's an original. Didn't know
I don't
that.
think I know what's on that.
That's from his album from like 2014, where he parodied Happy and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. First World.
1-833-414-1440 is our text line. You can get in your Christmas song requests. So we've had a few crawl in over the morning, some real good ones as well. Most recently, that one from Hacksaw down in Central AB. Hacksaw, let me know as the morning progresses how the weather is looking down in Central Alberta. Is it as dire as it looks to be here in the capital region with a snowfall warning in effect? I believe it mostly stretches into the East Country. Not so much south, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of crossover all around the province. You can let us know your thoughts on the text line as well from last night's Oilers game, what you're doing over the Christmas break. Are you heading down to Calgary? Speaking of weather and roads, take it easy if you are out of the city, visit family, friends. I want to hear about it. 1-833-414-1440. Let us know as we send everybody on a Merry Christmas way. Sizzler texted in, speed is a concern for sure when your whole team is fast and you're a slug, but speed is not Henrique's only downfall. He's got stone hands, loses battles consistently, can't score, can't make plays. He's fallen off the map and doesn't even look fit to play in the NHL right now. Sizzler clearly not happy with Adam Henrique's game as of late. Cliff letting us know what the odds actually are for the Pacific Division right now. I checked them out myself. Vegas still a favorite, minus 140. Oilers coming in at plus 250. So they are. You could still, if you're high on the Oilers to finally win a division title, going off at better than 2-1 right now. So that's not a bad price to get in on. Jay in Victoria, he's got some thoughts on the Oilers. Maybe we'll chime in on that here as we get going. But Jordan, did you say let us know what we are doing? No, I didn't, Jordan. That might just be me slurring my words. I haven't had quite that much of the double chocolate chip coffee creamer this morning from Rig Hand Distillery. Not yet, anyway. No, I want to know what you're doing because maybe over New Year's Eve, you're looking for something to do. In or out today, brought to you by our good friend, Brett Kissel, who's playing New Year's Eve show at the Silent Ice Center. Excellent facility, great, lots of parking, easy to get to, can't beat it. Great way to ring in the new year. Get your boots, get your hat. Brett's bringing country back, and he'll, I'm sure, sing some holiday songs. He's got some great ones of those on record for himself, all of his own hits. Great date night out with the family. I know I'm going to love it. I'm working on wrangling up a crew. Donovan and Josh seemed pretty quick to spurn my invitation yesterday, but that's okay. I've got real friends. They'll come along with me. Get your tickets at silenticecenter.com. And in honor of our best of show today with some interviews from the past year, Josh Fenwick has cooked up a list for In or Out that includes some best of sports arguments, sport debates. Josh, it is time for Are You In or Are You Out?
Okay. You know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line. Are you in or you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions. Just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
All right, Josh, let's dive right in here. Just the two of us. Just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
We can make it if we try.
We can. Let's do it.
All right. So, number one, obviously, last night was a big win for the Oilers against my Calgary Flames.
Tough.
However, the fate of the 1B goalie job or the backup, whatever we're deciding here, if Jari is the bona fide starter, the fate of the 1B goalie job for the Oilers was not won yesterday, but it lies in Saturday's game against the Flames down in the Dome.
Interesting question. Just to start, this is one of those things that does not matter at all. I don't mean this question. I'm just like, let me get to it here. When people say 1B, that's not correct. You have 1 and 1A. Now, if there's a third option, 1B. But like it's not 1A and 1B. There's 1 and 1A.
I see where you're coming from.
It's one of those things that like it is zero consequence, doesn't matter, but it's just something that people say that is incorrect. That kind of like every time I see it or hear it said, I'm like, that's not right.
The airing of grievances was yesterday.
Sorry,
Brandon. I'd like you to get
over
with
it.
the times.
Got to
please.
get over it. Got to get over it. Okay, I'm going to read this text from Jay and Victoria as we get into this question. 1-833-401-1440. You can get in on our conversations this morning as well. Who was that team last night? Wow. Only bad thing I found was I couldn't really assess Ingram. Do they go to Ingram again or let Cal get the start? Talking about Saturday's game in Calgary. Would love to see a good battle next game. Maybe Nurse and Frederick to take on some of the guys. When is Clattenburg back? Jay from Victoria. Well, Clattenburg's return is not imminent, I don't believe. He was placed on LTIR, but that was more so a salary cap move. He's been inactive long enough that I don't think he has to miss any more time because it was retroactive. So I don't have a firm answer for you on that, Jay, but I don't think you would expect to see him back on Calgary Saturday night in Calgary. To your question, Josh, as it pairs with Jay's point about Ingram. Assessment. Good game. Spec said it looked very tidy with his rebound controlling the puck. I think I'm probably out. I don't think that it's going to come down to one game here. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to Ingram, but also Cal Pickard has been a pretty dutiful backup. And that's the difference here. Cal Pickard is the backup goalie. What Connor Ingram can maybe be for this Oilers team is a 1A option to the number one Tristan Jarry upon return, meaning that when necessary, he can fill in and play more games. If Jarry's injury lingers or he suffers another one, God forbid it's playoff time, whatever. I don't think Cal Pickard is that at this stage. He is a backup goalie. So I'm going to be out because no matter how you phrase it, 1A, backup, doesn't matter. I don't think they're going to hinge that on just one game against the Flames on a Saturday night in late December.
Yeah, I think it sort of does because obviously, again, the Flames got the brakes beaten off of them. And as Speck alluded to in his segment, big word for me today, alluded, the Flames, I don't think are going to take that lightly, especially when they're going back to home ice. Battle of Alberta post-Christmas. I think they're really going to bring the heat. I don't expect to what was it? High danger scoring chances or something like that. 5-on-5, just as many as the Oilers shorthanded.
Yeah, two high danger scoring chances for the Flames in last night's game. According to Natural Stat Trick, the Oilers had 2 high danger chances while shorthanded.
Yeah, messed up. Absolutely messed up. I think they're going to go in for it. And if Cal's the starter that night, let's say, and he gives up, let's just go right in the middle here, like 4 goals. Connor Ingram only gave up 1. Now, granted, the defense was playing a hell of a lot better yesterday than even they were to start off the game against Vegas, where I thought Ingram made some seriously good saves right around the crease, which the Oilers were not doing a good job of protecting. I think if Cal absolutely lays a dud Saturday night, that is Calvin Pickard's punching his ticket down to the Bakersfield Condors.
That's a fair point, but the reality is we know Jari's going to miss time.
When
right?
Jari comes back.
So Pickard is going to get more games in, meaning that even if he stinks on Saturday night, which he's been playing much better lately, much better his last couple times out, like it's not automatically like, all right, you're not seeing the ice again until Tristan Jari gets back. He's going to get another couple games in here and a chance to redeem, show that the recent string is the fact, and then this one is the new outlier in this hypothetical world where he plays poorly on Saturday. So I see your point. There's much to be decided, and I think because of the fact he's going to get some more action, I'm not ready to sail him down the river, even if he doesn't play well on Saturday.
All right, number 2. The first half of Barry Bonds' career, pre-roids, obviously, should be good enough to get him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm in. I get it. The stance by the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame to keep out players with steroid scandals, but this is arguably the best player to ever play the game, the best hitter. He was an excellent fielder back in the day as well. The unfortunate reality, unless something changes, he will probably go the way of Pete Rose potentially and get in posthumously, which Barry Bonds is still a pretty young guy. Like, we're looking a long way down the road, most likely. But I will be surprised, I think, if he gets into the Hall of Fame while he's still alive. And that's unfortunate because he deserves the recognition, but you do also have consequences for your actions. He made those choices, did the steroids. Did he have to? I don't think so. The numbers speak for themselves before he ever did. But yeah, I'm in. I think he should get in, but I'm not necessarily thinking that he will, at least until he passes away, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's too bad. Barry Bonds led the league per Google and my own brain. He started doing steroids right around 1999, in that offseason between 98 and 99. So he had a 12-year career going into this. He led the league in WAR 7 times in a 12-year span. Even if you cut out the first 4 years of his career where he was sort of just, getting into the swing of things and everything, like, that is absolutely ridiculous. He had more home runs in that span than like Mike Trout has in his career. Mike Trout, very good player. Like, I agree with you. Did he need to take him? No, but this guy won 3 MVPs, a Gold Glove. What is that? 8 years in a row. Like, come on, guys. Just put him in. Don't wait till he dies, because again, this is one of the best players, if not the best player to ever, grace home plate.
Yeah. MTR texting in, MLB, they didn't mind profiting off Barry and the steroid era. Packed stadiums. Well, yeah, the steroid era saved the game of baseball. In my mind, there is no doubt. This was a dying sport. This brought excitement back to it. The home run chases, McGuire, Sosa, Bonds, you name it. From a hitting perspective anyway, it saved baseball. It absolutely did. So I'm right there with the MTR. I think it is hypocritical. It's the same type of thing we talk about with these leagues that are very harsh on punishing players for gambling incidences. And I don't mean match fixing, prop fixing inside their own games, inside their own sport. That I'm staunchly against. But the Shane Pinto thing, remember, it was like he was betting on a football game while in the Senator's facility, and he got suspended. Like, tell me how that makes sense. There's ads on their helmets, on everything, and power to them. Take the money. If the books are willing to give it to you to advertise, why would you not take the money? But then to turn around and be like, oh yeah, no, you can't bet on a football game while you're getting ready for practice with your friends, your teammates. That's kind of silly.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. All right, now for what is now probably our most recent debate across the football world. Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL this year, right around the same time in his career as the GOAT, Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone is ready to say the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty is over, and possibly Patrick Mahomes' chances of catching Brady as the GOAT. I say nay. This is not the case. Patrick Mahomes still has a chance, and I don't think it's a slim one.
Ooh, this is talk about MTR, one of our most frequent texters. He'll chime in on this with a pretty strong opinion. I know where he stands, and I know where I stand. I'm going to be in. The end of this, he still has a chance, and not a slim one. That's where I waver a little bit. I absolutely think Mahomes can still win a couple championships. If you're questioning Mahomes, has his play dropped off in the last couple of years? Sure. So has the quality of his O-line. So has his receiver talent. So has the run game, defense getting older. Like the Chiefs as a team need to go through a pretty good retool here and get things back on track if they want to further capitalize on the Mahomes era. Now, they're eliminated. Their game on Sunday, we're playing for nothing. They're in full mail-it-in mode. But just look at how bad they are without Patrick Mahomes. They look like the worst team in the league compared to a team that maybe missed the playoffs by a game. He's still very good. He's still very valuable. So I still think he has a chance. Talent-wise, yeah, I firmly believe he has an opportunity. It's going to be tough. Like Brady, it's absolutely insane what he accomplished into his 40s, obviously. So, but I'll be in on this.
Yeah, that's sort of where I go is like, I get it. Tom Brady was probably the greatest football player to ever play the game at like age 36, but he played until he was 45. You know, he got an extra, what would that be? 2 rings in that time. Like Patrick Mahomes is a very, very, very good quarterback. I get like the deep ball numbers and, you know, his completion percentage and how annoying just like everything around this team is. But like there was basically 3 different parts of Brady's career that you could break up and say, man, like this is one of the greatest things ever. I'm not ready to rule out that the Kansas City Chiefs can't just be like, all right, Travis Kelce is gone. And, you know, we lost Tyreek Hill a couple of years ago, and then just go, all right, well, you know what? There's Justin Jefferson might be coming out of Minnesota, you know, or maybe they can make a deal like that. Or there's lots of good wide receivers around the league. If Joe Burrow retires, nothing in my brain is telling me, hey, what's stopping the Chiefs from making a trade for a Jamar Chase? You know, like I think if Burrow retires, there's going to be a fire sale in Cincinnati because.
You actually think Joe Burrow might retire this year?
No, I don't think that.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
if he does, no one thought Andrew Luck was going to retire.
That's a good point.
No one thought Andrew Luck was going to retire. But Patrick Mahomes is 30 now, just over 30. If he plays until 45 like Brady did, like that's 13 years where he could theoretically get 4 more rings. He has to change a little bit of the way that he plays the game and worry less about deep balls and all the things like that. But I still think there's a very good chance that he could catch up. Going on to number 4, LeBron James, very good player, second best player in NBA history because Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
Yeah, I'm in. I've always been on this side of this. I think LeBron's a great player, great dad, bit of a cheesy guy. Don't love him as a person. Jordan, kind of the opposite. He's just a dick.
Yeah.
But you can't argue with the results. 14-time All-Star, 10-time scoring champ, the 6 rings, obviously the 3-peat, right? It's tough to argue with. Jordan's longevity is obvious, or James's longevity is obviously very, very appreciable, and you have to respect it. But like physically, I think he's more dominating, but like the results speak for themselves. Jordan undefeated in NBA championships. LeBron has lost more than he's won in the NBA finals. Am I not mistaken?
This is true. He is 4-10.
Yeah,
in trips to the finals.
But I mean, hey, making it that many times.
4-6 in 10.
Kudos
trips.
to you. Some of them were on loaded teams. Some of them were on bad teams. Take it and leave it. But yeah, no, I think this is pretty cut and dry. I think LeBron is a good second place.
I always see the argument, and at this point, I don't really get upset with people if they say, "Oh, LeBron's the GOAT and Michael Jordan is it." Like, I don't really have a dog in the race. I've never cheered for LeBron in my life, and I didn't get to watch Jordan play. He retired the second time or third time, I guess, before I was born. So, I don't really have a dog in the race, and people like to say, oh, LeBron went to 8 straight finals, whatever. The most damning part of LeBron James's career is the fact that in 2011, forms the Heatles, goes to Miami, leaves Cleveland to chase a ring. That very first year, one of the greatest teams ever assembled, and he averages 12 points in the finals against a Mavericks team who, again, they won the title that year, so I can't say they weren't very good, but like in terms of star power to star power, role player to role player, the Heat had him beat on every level, and Dirk bust their ass for six games in a row. And LeBron averaged 12 points in the finals. I don't know what to tell you. He had a game where he scored 8 points. The most physically dominant player outside of Shaquille O'Neal to ever play the game. And he was like, I better just hang out around the perimeter. Now, credit to the Mavericks. They had a very good defensive scheme that series, but that's a series where you're supposed to impose your will, and he didn't. And that's really the chip where I'm like, shove that in the middle. Michael Jordan, he's the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to our number 5, our final one of this fine, beautiful day. In Christmas movies, particularly the Santa Claus movies, I'm just using this as an example. I love those movies, but their biggest flaw and the most distracting part of those movies is the parents not believing in Santa Claus.
I thought Gripes' airing of grievances was yesterday, Josh.
I'm aware.
You just gave me flack for this, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll forgive. It's like holiday spirit, Christmas spirit. The biggest flaw, most distracting, I'll probably be out on that. Do I think it's a plot hole? Same as almost every other Christmas movie where Santa Claus is a part of the plot. Yeah. I mean, like that's perpetual. That's no matter what. Like, I use this example, the break, Polar Express, or like, the parents look at each other. Who gave him that bell? And it's like, is some creep coming in this house and putting bells in our tree? So is it a plot hole? Yeah, for sure. Is it the biggest flaw? I don't know. I don't think so. It's a Christmas movie.
I get it.
It's all part of the spirit.
I know that it's part of the spirit of this spirit of the thing, all that stuff. What the hell are we talking about here?
What is the biggest flaw? If I say that that's not.
Yeah. What would that be?
I might have to think about that for a second.
Because, well, here's why I say it's the biggest flaw and the most distracting, particularly in the Santa Claus, right? Tim Allen is very, very clearly Santa Claus.
Well, yeah,
and later they all believe, like, that his whole family believes in Santa Claus because they know, they see him, they believe it, they believe that he is the real Santa Claus. But leading into it, like, parents just going, oh, well, Santa doesn't exist. And here's why it's unrealistic. My dad finishes Christmas shopping for my mom on Christmas Eve some years. I think he finished before her this year, but I've been with him to go and get her gift at like 1:00 on Christmas Eve before.
Right.
In what world is a loving wife going, man, he really stepped up this year. I can't believe you did this without any prompting. Then, oh, did you get the kids Christmas presents yet or anything? It was like, and they never have a conversation about it. And then on the flip side, I get it for the dads. Oh, that's what we got him this year. Like, you have one conversation, you go, holy balls, Santa Claus, he must exist.
Mm-hmm. It's a valid point. It really is. I don't know. I think there's bigger flaws, like,
how does he get around in one night? I get it.
Yeah, sure. Maybe that's the biggest question. But
Christmas answered that one.
I might have to stew on this here in the next segment when we will hear a best of interview from Dwayne Mandrusiak back in the spring of this year. He joined Kevin on air talking about his new role as the historian for the Double E franchise. This was back from May 27th, this one, and talking about, it's a few stories from the old days and the hopeful revitalization of the green and gold under new leadership of Chris Morris, Mark Killam, and Ed Hervey all in the fold. Before all that, great addition of In or Out, Josh, to send us into the holiday break. Before we hear from Dwayne, as well as Paul Stewart in the 9 o'clock hour, former NHL referee, as part of our best of interviews, let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by First Round. You could win an NFL jersey tonight. Probably not tonight. Mondays and Thursdays. How's that for you, Josh? Win an NFL jersey Monday and Thursdays, both locations. Get 50% off boneless wings as well. First Round, Edmonton's NFL headquarters. Here is Josh Fenwick.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Last night over in Rogers Place, the Oilers beat the brakes off the Flames, winning 5-1. The Leafs toppled the Penguins. Red Wings over the Stars. Rangers smoked the Capitals. Habs absolutely run over the Bruins. And the Knights take it over the Sharks. Over on the hardwood, Raptors take a win on the road in Miami, winning 112-91. Final scores out of San Antonio, 131-10, as the Spurs hand the Thunder their third loss in 5 games. Suns, late night game, topple the Lakers in Phoenix, winning 132-108. On the gridiron, Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf will sit out the final 2 games of the regular season after his suspension for violating league policy and an altercation with a fan in Detroit on Sunday was upheld on appeal. Metcalf will forfeit $555,000 in salary. The suspension also voids $45 million in future guaranteed money. Over in the golf scene, Brooks Koepka's time with Live Golf is over. The 35-year-old West Jupiter, Florida native originally joined the tour in 2022 and won 5 events over 4 seasons. Coming up on the Kevin Karius Show Best Of Edition, we'll hear interviews from Dwayne Mandrusiak and Paul Stewart. I'm Josh Fenwick. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. December is here. Christmas shopping, Christmas wrapping, Christmas baking, grocery shopping. What about our vehicle? Does it need tires? It's not running? No problem. We got you covered. At Northgate GM, we have a tremendous selection of newer used vehicles, winter tires at cost, and of course, service with a smile. Come in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Mr. Rooter decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing-based wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. You got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the outside, candy corn hose pips. Disgusting, but they get the job done.
To have your Yule clogs fixed, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fan.
It's your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
Welcome back into the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick with you. KK away, headed off to Melville, Saskatchewan. Spend some time with the friends and family here around the holiday season. He'll be back Monday morning when we reconvene post-Christmas break to break down all things from the upcoming weekend. We're going to have the World Juniors kicking off on Boxing Day, Spangler Cup action from over in Switzerland. Christmas Day football games, Saturday football games, the Oilers down in Calgary for the Battle of Alberta rematch, the home-and-home conclusion here, bookending the Christmas break of the NHL schedule, and then another full slate of NFL Sunday as well. Just because we ran in a little bit late there coming out of In or Out, we're going to table Dwayne Mandruzek for the next break. We're going to use our final few minutes of this segment to go ahead and make some picks against the spread in the NFL. Now, normally this is Kevin and I head-to-head. He's gone. I brought it up to him that there's going to be a lot of games on the table here. Should we make those picks on Monday? He didn't seem very inclined to dip in. So as a result, I'm going to employ Josh Fenwick to step in on Kevin's behalf and make some selections. So we're going to do first, the 3 Christmas games. We can pick them in whatever order we choose. I'm up first. Kevin was correct on Monday night, took the Niners to cover 5.5 points. To bring the current lead of mine down to 40-32. I have an 8-game lead. 8-game lead over Kevin. So we'll swap picks back and forth, doing the 3 games tomorrow, 2 games Saturday, and then the Sunday night football game, which is the Bears in the Bay going up against the San Francisco 49ers. So, Josh, we both have it up. We're just using the ESPN website and the current odds that they have out there. And I'm looking at Cowboys at Commanders, Dallas -7. Detroit at Minnesota, Lions -7.5. Denver at Kansas City, -13.5 points.
A lot of points for a divisional game.
That's a lot of points. All 3 road teams favored. And when I look at this, I think I'm going to start by taking the Dallas Cowboys to cover 7 points against their division rival, Washington Commanders, who are going to be on their second, maybe even third string quarterback, maybe even 4th string quarterback if Sam Hartman plays.
That's a good pick.
So
I like that one.
I'm finna take the Cowboys.
That was speaking to me real nice. However, I'm going to take the other team that is facing a possible 3rd string, maybe 4th string quarterback in the Denver Broncos. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos to cover. I understand a lot of points for a divisional matchup. However, Broncos have something to play for. The Chiefs have draft position to play for. So I think it works out in everyone's favor if the Broncos win 27-7 this this upcoming game here.
Tough to disagree with you. It really is. I like that one, and I'm going to stay in the same vein. I'm going to take the favorite. Detroit Lions, like you said, they have something to play for. Their playoff hopes are hanging by a thread. They have to win. They have to win. They need some help to make it happen here in the final few weeks as well. We'll get to a Green Bay's game on Saturday in a moment. But yeah, I'm going to take the Lions. Divisional game in Minnesota. It's indoors, so hopefully that doesn't affect Jared Goff, who sometimes has struggled in colder weather. I need Jahmyr Gibbs to pop off for the sake of a little wager that we're working for me and some of my friends that put in a weekly parlay. We're doing a Christmas Day parlay. I like Gibbs to maybe score a couple times. So I'll take the Lions to cover 7.5, which rolls us over to the Saturday games, December 27th, Josh. You're up. Choices between the Chargers hosting the Texans. Chargers are favored at home, -2.5. And Baltimore at Green Bay. The Packers are 3-point favorites in this one. Where do you want to go with your Saturday selection?
Yeah. So Chargers beat up O-line. Green Bay still has something to play for. Baltimore doesn't. I'll take Green Bay to cover.
Green Bay -3. So favorites are heavy here. Well, that makes it easy for me. Almost obligatory. I will take my Texans. I'll take my Texans to cover. What did I say? It was 2.5 points?
1.5.
1.5.
1.5 on ESPN.
Oh, I must have not refreshed this. Maybe the line has moved.
The line has moved to 1.5.
I'll make sure I've those other lines I all said were right though.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are all the same. Oh yeah, so Texans plus 1.5. I like them on the money line. I think the defense is going to eat the O-line alive. Justin Herbert's playing really well, but this will be a different animal in this Texans defense. That leaves
the divorce bowl.
That leaves you with Sunday Night Football. Yeah, the house divided fantasy frenzy. We'll talk with Cons when he rolls in here at 11 o'clock. Bears at Niners. San Francisco -3 at home. Where do you want to go with this pick, Josh Fenwick?
I'm going to take the Bears. Short week for the Niners here.
Good point.
Short week for the Niners and Christmas all lumped together. Everyone could be sluggish, but I think those Niners are going to be a touch more sluggish, more beat up. I get Brock Purdy just had 5 touchdowns, first time in Niners. He had QB Agami. No quarterback had ever had the stat line that Brock Purdy had on Monday Night Football. Yeah, follow them on Twitter. So fun fact for that. But the Bears are rolling. They just, even if they lose, but they lose by game-ending field goal to win by 1, I think Kevin will be perfectly fine with the Bears covering that 3-point spread. So I'm gonna take the Bears in San Francisco.
Yeah,
sorry, MTR.
Both teams playing like this is maybe the game of the week.
Oh yeah,
here on Sunday Night Football, both teams playing for a chance at division titles and the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Yep.
Now, the Niners control their own destiny. The Bears, I believe, even if they win out, they need some help from losses by – basically, they have to beat the Niners and then Seattle lose to the Niners, I think, in Week 18 for the Bears to get the 1 seed, if I'm not mistaken. So a little bit of a kind of flip-flop there. But, yeah, lots to play for in that game on Sunday and the Texans-Chargers game on Saturday, I think, kind of tee up as a couple of the marquee matches in the NFL here in week number 17. We'll have more NFL talk coming up on Fantasy Frenzy with Connor and I. We'll have the full hour open to spin it around, talk some ball, and talk some Oilers and Flames, of course, as well. When we come back, we'll hear a best-of interview with Dwayne Mandrusiak. It's Kevin Karius Show. Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick with you here on the Sports 1440 AM dial. We're also streaming video on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and even on Twitch.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and people who suffer brain fog might think it's just going to be part of their life. But listen, I've seen a 38-year-old man managing a concussion read her kid a bedtime story without losing the plot, all because of cognitive rehab that rewires the brain like a GPS reboot. Your brain isn't broken, it's buffering. One missed beat in focus, memory, or balance snowballs into frustration, falls, or forgotten keys. Stroke, concussion, long COVID, even aging can all lead to brain fog. Cognitive rehab works. Check us out at leadingedgephysio.com before your next "where'd I put my phone" moment.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
In the new year with a Canadian country legend. December 31st, in concert at the Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Brett Kissel. She drives me crazy. With special guests Haley Benedict and Morgan Clyburn. Bring your friends, your cowboy boots, and your party spirit for a night full of hits, celebration, and unforgettable memories. Hosted by Chris Sheets. The countdown to 2026 starts with Brett Kissel live on stage. Get your tickets now at silenticecenter.com/events.
Canada's own Crave is soaring to new heights and is now bigger and better than ever. Crave has added over 10,000 new hours of amazing content, including the biggest live events.
And the Oscar goes to?
Select live sports like golf and NASCAR. And even news.
We have exclusive details tonight.
Plus, hit shows and movies from 18 leading TV channels. And all at the same price. Crave, bigger, better, endlessly entertaining.
After 20 years, Canada's most prestigious international hockey tournament returns. The Camrose Viking Cup, December 28th to January 4th at Encana Arena. Tickets at vikingcup.ca. Brought to you by Sports 1440.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
Good song choice, Josh Fenwick. Welcome back to the Kevin Karius Show. Brandon Douglas sitting in for KK this morning. Josh Fenwick alongside on the ones and twos, as well as our digital stream. You can watch us, YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and listen at all the usual platforms, AM Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, you name it. If you miss any part of today's show, you can always catch up on podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google, you name it. Subscribe. Do the same thing on our YouTube page as well. Drop some likes there while you're at it, and you'll never have to miss any portion of the program. If you missed Feats of Strength yesterday, go back and watch it. It was a spectacle. First, Josh defeated Donovan in combat, and then I remained the champ. Champ's here. The champ is here. Josh, you're going at a little with MTR here on the text line. He doesn't like your Bears pick on Sunday Night Football says, short week at home, Bears got to travel. Don't matter. Niners win. Sets up an unreal game against Seattle for the number 1 seed. That, of course, coming week 18. He says you disagree. Bears are them guys. He says you're a Bengals fan. Chump, settle down. Couldn't even do me one favor a couple years ago and beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. Hate y'all forever. Well, yeah, that was Joe Burrow being Joe Burrow, and the Rams were a wagon.
Talk to the O-line for the Bengals that year. Half a second more, Jamar Chase shimmied off Jalen Ramsey, no one downfield.
That Rams Super Bowl is the only time I have won a preseason championship future.
Congratulations. How much did you cash?
It was I didn't have a ton. I was in school at the time, so I didn't have a ton of money kicking around, but I think I put $20 on it. It was going off at plus 1,200 maybe. So it was a nice little bonus for myself at the start of February. Able to keep the beer fridge stocked for a few more weeks. Good times. Let's hear from Dwayne Mandrusiak, his conversation with Kevin Karius back in late May after being appointed the Double E team historian. Here's that conversation.
All right, we've hooked up with Dwayne Mandrusiak. Good morning, Dwayne. You're with Kevin Karius once again. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 in the middle of your shift at Sturgeon, man. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful day. The members are just heading out for a round of golf, and I'm sitting here BSing with them.
So what are you doing out there? Like, are you doing a lot of starting, doing everything like that?
Yeah. There's a group of us here that work starter and then member assistants and stuff. And so I've been fortunate. I've been doing this for 4 years out here, and it's a beautiful course, and the people are great. So it's been fun.
I get to play it on Sunday, Dwayne, with Murray and the boys from the ranch. We're heading out there.
Oh, you're going to like it. It's in great shape.
Oh, good stuff. Dwayne Mandrusiak with us on Sports 1440. So yesterday's announcement, and you had a media availability and everyone was down there. Maybe just what you thought about it and how nice this is for you and the organization, and it's an emotional time as well. So maybe just discuss that if you can, Dwayne.
Well, it was, I didn't think that it would be quite as overwhelming for me, but it really was. It's been 5 years since I've been in the stadium. And I started to speak, and I forgot Chris Morris's name, which was kind of embarrassing. But you know what? It went from there, but it was like a rush of emotion, like you said, that my grandkids had never been in the locker room and never been in the any of the areas like the office or anything. So it was great to see them. They were all excited, and I had a bunch of alumni guys there, which was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I had once I got going, it was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to working there.
How did it all come about? Like, at what point were you approached by Chris and the organization and ownership, Dwayne, and then to get it to where, all culminated and will be culminating this year for year number 50?
Well, I have to thank the Thompson family, Larry and Deb. They're the ones who initiated it and went to Chris and said to go and get him. And Chris and I had sat down and we had a couple of good conversations and discussed what they were offering for me. And it wasn't to be back in the equipment room, which is fine because at my age, you don't want to be schlepping bags at 3:00 in the morning. I'd rather be snoozing, but I'll be doing some community liaison and some of the historian parts for the club, and that'll mean going in and probably hitting a few golf tournaments with a team from the football club, and then just trying to get the culture back to where it was.
Mm-hmm.
Where there was respect for the organization and respect for the team that Norm Kimball had set up the way he wanted to have the team run, so that other teams wanted to be the Edmonton Eskimos.
Yeah.
He had such high standards. So, and I see the same thing happening with this organization, this group of people working there.
Mm-hmm. Dwayne Mandrusiak with us on Sports 1440. There was a couple pictures sent out, obviously, with that old sign that you had, and I guess, would have to take it down several years ago. But now that sign is going to be back, and you're going to have it hanging in the locker room. What's the plan for that?
Yeah, it's going to go back over the door. I kept it at my house. I was the keeper of the sign, we used to say, for the time, for the 4 years or 5 years I wasn't there. But it was never mine. I was just holding it and waiting for it to go back where it rightly belonged. And everyone was pretty excited about the fact that it's still there. And I look forward to seeing it up over the doors when they put it back up again.
Mm-hmm. You know, and the way Chris is handling this and the organization, I'll be honest, like sometimes in the last, when there was the name change and everyone knows like it's still going to stay Elks, but it's almost years ago, Dwayne, when I was even at Global, we were told you cannot say that name anymore, Eskimos. You cannot say a former Eskimo. You couldn't. And I mean, that was right from the top of our network. And now it's being brought back because of the history of the team. So maybe just discuss what you think about that.
Well, I think that should have never ended up being the way it was, Kevin. And, you know, the Edmonton Eskimos won 14 Grey Cups. And I think that that's the history that we have to rely on, is that we can't be afraid to discuss it the way that it should be. And you could just see everybody relax once the Eskimo name came up the other day.
Yeah.
And the alumni feel like they're a part of it again. I mean, they didn't, like they said, when they talk about me, they say the Eskimo, ex-Eskimo, or ex-Elk equipment manager.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what, the difference between the way that things were then is that the Edmonton Eskimos won 14 Grey Cups. The Edmonton Elks barely won 14 games. And so we're at a new point in, you know, I looked the way Ed's running this exactly the way he ran it in 2015 as far as the free agencies. He's done a great job of getting Canadians and solidifying the offensive and defensive line. And you could just see yesterday when I was in there, it's such a different attitude.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way that I remember it.
Yeah. Dwayne Mandruzik with us on Sports 1440. So maybe explain what your job is going to be, the details of it. Again, when I think of a historian with the club, and as you say, you're going to do some community stuff as well. But I mean, there isn't anyone, you and Brian Hall would be the two guys that I would say that know the most about this football team going back to 1970. Maybe just touch on that, Dwayne.
Well, I think we lost a little bit of that over the last 4 years. The history that the Tom Wilkinson brought in, and Dan Kepler and Warren Moon, that we don't even regard those guys as being around. And so what I'm going to try to do is introduce it back to people who don't know what's going, have not been involved at that time, and the younger fans and stuff. And I'm looking to take, like, what I want to do is, I've always said I wanted to be like an ambassador and take people through the locker room on game day and like go down from the stands, pick a fan out and take them down to the field level and let them see what it's like in the bench and then walk them through the locker room and see where the history's there, is all the faces etched in the glass, the guys in the Hall of Fame and the guys that are on the wall, their names are in the locker room, and just to show them that this is a team that is proud of where it was, and it's back to, and it's happy to be back where it is now.
Yeah.
You know, history is a tough thing to keep bringing up to people's to bring up to the fans if you're not playing well.
Yeah.
People don't want to. Like the stands were almost empty if you saw that last year at the end.
Yeah.
That reminded me when we played in Montreal and they were shutting the doors afterwards.
Yeah. Dwayne Mandruzik with us on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. I think I've asked you this, but I can't really remember. Do you recall when you had your first couple of days as a ball boy with the Eskimos in 1971 and what that experience was like and how you, I don't know if it got your foot in the door, if that's the right terminology or phrase, but maybe just touch on that, Dwayne, in the sense of your very early days with this team.
Well, it was funny. I was in a spring camp and I got hurt, and I said to my coaches, Clarence Koshman, who was an Eskimo in 1966, played 1 year with the Eskimos. He was the coach of this team, and I said, I want to hang around, but I'm hurt. I won't be able to play for a while. And he said, well, we need a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to send you to the Edmonton Eskimos, and this gentleman's going to teach you how to tape it and make an ice bag up if somebody needed it. And it was to Mr. Tom Pond. And Tom and I were standing in the training room, and he was teaching me how to tape ankles when the locker room attendant at that time came in and said, I'm not going to pick up the dirty laundry off the floor. I don't do that stuff. So they fired him, and Tom turned to me and said, kid, you want to work here? So I was at the right place at the right time. And I was a lot, not that I'm very tall now, I was a lot shorter then. But the players were great. I mean, I picked up what they were doing fairly quickly, and they were all, the coaches welcomed me there. And from the minute I got there, it's like I knew where I wanted to be. And my mom said, I asked my mom if I could continue working there, and she said, as long as it doesn't affect your schoolwork. And so we would practice in the evenings, because a lot of players worked at that time, because the pay wasn't as well as it is now. But so I would catch the bus from Queen and ride down to Vic Comp and get out and run to Clark Stadium, and we'd practice in the evenings. And players would give me a ride back to Vic Comp, and I'd get back on the bus and do my homework on the way home, and did that for 2 years until I learned had the opportunity to get a car and go to the stadium. And then Tom Pond and I just started working more in the off season there with him, and it kind of just evolved that even when I took over in 1978 to be the equipment manager, Mr. Kimball said, we don't talk to you all. If I don't talk to you all year, that'll be a good thing. And I said, what do you mean you're not going to talk to me? He said, no, it means I trust you. And I went through all my years with the football club, and my contract was a handshake. So they respected me right up to the end. And I'm grateful that they have interest in me coming back.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be so great. So glad that you're back for year number 50, and hopefully many more after that, Dwayne. And I think I can speak from all Elks and Eskimos fans that they're just so excited and looking forward to seeing your smiling face around Commonwealth Stadium again.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to getting down there on Friday and starting this whole thing on the right foot, and we'll see what happens with it. I'm gonna be a big night for me.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So as always, love our conversations. Thanks for coming on, Dwayne, and get back to your shift here, man. This is like an extended coffee break for you here this morning.
Yeah, I'll probably get fired right this. No big deal, Kev.
Yeah, just blame me, Dwayne, and then they'll be fine.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Thanks, big guy. We'll see you soon.
And I'll see you down the road.
Long time Edmonton Elks equipment manager, or Edmonton Eskimos equipment manager. Now the Elks back with the team as team historian. And that conversation was brought to you by Cougar Paint and Collision. Cougar Paint and Collision, our family, helping your family for over 40 years. Part of the NAPA certified auto body program. CougarCollision.com. When we come back, we'll check into another best of interview. This was long-time NHL referee, former player himself, Paul Stewart. Always a lot of fun to have Paul on, talk some officiating, tell some old stories from back in the day, and how things used to be, just a little bit different inside the game of hockey at the NHL level. That's when we return. Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick, sitting in for Kevin this morning on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. December is here. Christmas shopping, Christmas wrapping, Christmas baking, grocery shopping. What about our vehicle? Does it need tires? It's not running? No problem. We got you covered. At Northgate GM, we have a tremendous selection of newer used vehicles, winter tires at cost, and of course, service with a smile. Come in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Wing Wednesday at First Round. Whether you're coming for the first round, the last round, or a few rounds in between, they've got you covered with half-price wings every Wednesday night. Half-price wings. Over 35 delicious flavors like Cajun salt and pepper, maple bacon, and Inferno wings. Now half price every Wednesday night. Wash them down with a cold pint of Canadian or Coors Light for only $5.75. Half price Wing Wednesdays at First Round in West Ed and now downtown. First Round, burgers, beer, sports.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
The Bricks Boxing Day blowout is back. Be one of the first 10 customers in line to receive a $50 credit towards any purchase. Plus, shop incredible 5-hour door crashers, like 70% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. And all day, buy any TV or appliance and get a $50 credit towards furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Plus, free local delivery on purchases over $4.99. Some exclusions apply. The Brick, saving you more.
Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the move, you're never more than a tap away from Sports 1440. Download the radio player or iHeart app today so you can get all access anytime to Edmonton's only sports radio station, Sports 1440.
At Cougar Paint and Collision, Christmas is a time of showing they care.
And we get these little old ladies that they'll phone and they'll say, you know what, I'm too old to drive anymore and I don't have my license or car anymore. But I sure like those Christmas cards that you guys used to send. So we still got to send them a Christmas card.
We actually had one lady that she'd moved into a nursing home and she wanted the Christmas card to go to her nursing home address. So we updated our files for her.
She was pretty happy.
From all the family at Cougar Paint and Collision, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Cougar Paint and Collision, part of the Napa Certified Body Shop program.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
I'm Gene Principe, bringing season's heatings from Legacy Heating and Cooling. For Yuletide comfort you'll love this Christmas. You should.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
There's no better way to fix your furnace. You just.
Call Legacy.
They're professional, never rude, Dolph. You should.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Plus, no interest and no principal payments for 1 year when you buy with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The Kevin Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
Karius Show here on Sports 1440. Merry Christmas Eve to you all out there. Thanks for tuning in to the program this morning. Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick in studios. We roll through a special Christmas Eve edition of the program, some best of interviews, a couple live hits, over the course of the program. We got Low Tide coming up at the top of the hour to talk some more Oilers after last night's win over Calgary 5-1 and ahead of the rematch Saturday night down in Cowtown. Now, let's hear from another one of our best of interviews from this year. Back at the start of July, Gilbert Brulé was in town for the Brick Tournament coaching a team out of BC, and he was kind enough to join us in studio for a conversation with Kevin Karius and our co-host David Schlemko.
Really excited to welcome into the studio former Oiler, former NHLer, Gilbert Brulé, and former teammate David Schlemko. This is kind of a reunion for you guys. Good to see you. It's been a long time. And you were saying, Gilbert, because you played with the Brick at the Brick Invitational in 97. Yeah. Schlemmer was on opposition team. You had never been on the ice since 1997 here at the mall. How cool is this?
Yeah, it's been 28 years, I guess, right? So it was super fun getting out there, especially with our kids. Like, we have such a great group, and with all the fans watching, it's just a great environment. It's electric here.
Did you guys win when you played in it?
I'm pretty sure you guys did.
Yeah,
right?
97, we ended up winning. I think it was against, who was it in the finals that we beat? I can't even remember now. Was it Detroit or?
Wasn't us. I know that.
No. But I know I came in 96 too, and I played as an underage, and we lost to Detroit Honey Baked in the semis. And then I think, who did we beat in the finals? I should remember this, but it's been so long. I haven't even thought about it.
28 years, buddy. It's 28 years.
I just remember we won that year. It was great, great feeling. But yeah, we had so many good players, and we had great coaching as well. Like that helps so much.
I just remember this kid in a blue helmet and visor that was just like going bar down from the blue line every shift, and we were like, how old is this kid?
So obviously you had, and Schlemmer was saying that you were the best player or one of the best players in that tournament in 97. So now you're coaching these kids, and you must go, whoa, man, are these kids good?
Yeah, kids are just like, they seem to be getting better at hockey all the time, and just their speed. And, we have got an 8-year-old on our team too. Like, he's just a very good hockey player. So he's going to be coming back again next year, I'm sure.
8.
Yeah. And he can play. Like, he can shoot the puck harder than some of the guys in my men's league back home when he's 8 years old. It's pretty funny, but he's a good kid, and they're all great kids, right? And they work so hard. Like, we've been on the ice a lot. We've played a lot of games. Like, we played like 6 games four exhibition games last week. We had like, I don't know how many practices, 4 or 5 practices. Like, we're working with these guys hard, and they're just showing it, and they're listening to us, and it's really working. So we're really happy with them.
So what is it a little bit different then from when we played? Like, what are the kids doing off the ice nowadays? Are they still playing mini sticks and ripping around the mall, or are they just like dialed in watching video?
Oh yeah. They're playing mini sticks still in the hallway and basketball out in the parking lot and stuff. But the one thing I noticed, like when I was a kid, it's a lot more like professionally, like they're almost like little professionals out there. They look very good in all their uniforms. They've got all the gear. And like, I remember when I came, we never did video, I don't think, when I was playing, which we do like almost every day with these kids. It's crazy. They're 10. We got 1 tracksuit and like 2 jerseys, and that was it. And these guys got 3 sets of jerseys, and they got like, they're really well taken care of. They got all the food and drinks and quench and all that stuff for them. So like, they're just taken care of a little bit different than we are. I mean, we're just like, hey, you guys go play hockey.
Yeah. They're not grabbing like a bag of chips and a Slurpee after the game.
No.
Former Edmonton Oiler Gilbert Brulé with us in studio, Kevin Karius and David Schlemko. So you guys go even way back further than in Phoenix.
Yeah.
You played against each other in the Western League. What do you guys remember about that?
I don't remember playing junior that much against you. I guess you were in the West. I was in the East, and then you played in Columbus as an 18-year-old, didn't you, for first half of the year?
Yeah.
So I didn't really get to know you that well until we were in Phoenix together. We had that run to the West Final, and then you stayed with me at camp the next year.
Yeah, that was nice. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, we've had some good times together for sure. It was really nice to stay at your house during camp and get to know you and your family. That was really a pleasure for me.
Good times in Scottsdale, baby.
Yeah.
Sitting by the pool in September after practice at camp. Yeah, we didn't know how good we had it.
No kidding. When you got here after Columbus and you came here in, I guess, what year is it? 08. The trade for Rafi Torres.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and you had a hell of a year here, 17 goals. I mean, what do you remember about being an Oiler back then?
Yeah, well, I remember that year. I think it was Pat Quinn was coaching that year, right? And I had I've known Pat since the Giants days because he was part owner when I was playing at the time. So Pat, we had a good relationship, and he just said, hey, just go play hockey, play your game. And that was really great for me. He just kind of let me do my thing. And I definitely worked very hard that summer, and it started to show a bit. I was also getting some bounces too, which was great. That really helped with some of those goals. So I did have a couple injuries that year. I think I had a flu too or something. I missed a bit of time, which was too bad because I was out for almost like a couple of weeks at least, and then I had a couple of weeks just to get back in shape and skate and do the bag skate tests and all that stuff, just to get back in the lineup. But it was a fun year. I just, obviously I wish our team had more success, but just touching on Phoenix again, when we had that run, that was incredible. I was so happy and lucky to come to that team, I think around January or so. And I think in March or something like that, we didn't lose a game. I think we were like 16-1. Like Mike Smith was just standing on his head. He was
on a heater.
Yeah.
It's funny when you look at the goal scorers on the Oilers that year. Gilbert Brulé, Schlemmer, if I were to tell you he had the second most goals on the team.
Wow, eh?
I almost can't even believe that.
There's a lot of first overall picks being selected around that time, wasn't there?
They're probably just coming in.
Dustin Penner had 32.
Oh yeah, he was my line mate. The year Cogliano was there too, and
Sam Gagne had 15. You had 17. Hork had 13.
Yeah.
That was when Patrick O'Sullivan came in here as well.
Yeah.
And one guy that I could say that a lot of people were like, well, how does he's still playing? He's got Ryan Patolny had 15 goals.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
The team, again, as you said, the success 27-47 under Pat Quinn. Also, and a guy that I got to know when I was doing games back from 03 to 2010 when I was doing games, the video coach back then was Miles Fee.
Yeah.
Now he ended up in Florida.
Yeah.
So he's won a couple of cups.
Pretty good spot to be right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then, like Hammer was hurt. So obviously he had 7 goals.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a different time. It was at a time where the Oilers were having a tough go for a few years.
Yeah, they were.
So that was right before all the first overall picks came.
Well, the next year would have been Taylor Hall.
Yeah, it was Hall and then like Eberle and these guys, and then was it Payarvi and eventually Nuge and
all these guys started to come in.
Right.
Yeah. The one story that we've been bringing up, Gilbert Brulé with us in studio, David Schlemko and Kevin Karius with you, is when you were the Bono story. So I'm going to let you just go because we touched on it right off the hop. It was an interesting story to say the least, but just in your words, maybe mention and talk about what happened when you were in West Vancouver, as you say.
Yeah, I was actually just going to take my dog out for a walk. It's like a normal day, and it started to rain, and I'm just driving down the road by the marina, and I see these 2 people hitchhiking on the side of the road, and I'm like, this is kind of not normal for this area because it's a little ritzy kind of area, but I'm like, I drove by, and I'm like, I know who Bono is, of course. Like, I love music. I'm into music big time, and I drive by, and I'm like, that's Bono. I'm like, no, like what? I'm like, no way. And my girl at the time was driving my truck, and I'm like, you got to turn the truck around. Like, we got to see if that's him. So she's like, I'm not picking up hitchhikers. Like, I'm not doing this. I'm like, well, if it's not him, just keep driving. Just drive by. So we end up turning around. We drive by, yell his name out the window. I'm like, hey, Bono. And he gives me a wave. And he was with his assistants at the time, Irish lady, really nice people. And they jumped in the car right away. And my dog was like jumping all over him in the back and going nuts. And like, who is this? And he was just super friendly. We just got to talking about, life and things. He's like, what do you do? And I'm like, I play hockey and stuff. And he's like, I said, I played for the Oilers in Edmonton. He's like, oh, we're playing there tomorrow night. You should come to the show. And I was like, well, I'd love to. So I got on a flight the next morning, and they got us tickets in the backstage, the green room and all that stuff. Got to meet him before the show. And but after I did pick him up, I drove him to Horseshoe Bay in West Vancouver, and Bono and Bono, The Edge and Larry Mullen Jr. were there waiting for him or something. I don't know if they were meeting up or what. And they came right up to the truck. They shook my hand. They're like, thanks so much for giving him a ride and everything. I was like, this is crazy. I like ran home. I'm like, I want to grab one of my guitars and come back. And they were gone. But anyways, so the next night we got to Alberta and to Edmonton and at Commonwealth Stadium. It was like 60,000 people, I think, at the show. And he gives me like this huge shout out on stage. And he's like, hockey players are good people. Like they pick up hitchhikers and all this stuff. And it was epic. Like I was almost screaming at the top of my lungs. I'm like, no way. I couldn't believe I was getting a shout out by this guy. So, special memory I'll never forget. That's for sure.
Oh, that's
cool.
Yeah. And again, I was talking about it off the top of the show, and I got to thank Craig Stiles for helping get you on this morning.
Yeah.
And the first thing that I couldn't remember if it was here where you picked them up because it wasn't making a lot of sense that it was in Vancouver.
Yeah.
I know it's like, and it was 2011, right?
I think
so.
Something like that.
14, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, how did it happen? Then he's in Vancouver, then he's here for the concert. The next day, did he hop on the private jet with Bono? I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, well, it was kind of perfect because I still had a place here because I was still playing for the Oilers. Yeah. So I was like, I'm just going to go stay at my little townhouse I had there. It was like, it was just kind of worked out perfectly. My mom came too. She's a huge U2 fan and Bono fan. And we were getting our photo before and my mom didn't want to let him go.
You said like you wanted to grab a guitar. Are you like musically inclined too then?
I play music. Okay, yeah, I know. Cool. Dave knows that. I've had a guitar at his place.
Jamming out.
Yeah. What are you playing, Schlemmer? The kazoo?
I don't play nothing, buddy. Just a nice spectator for him.
Yeah, I like to play.
Actually, I rented that place from you one summer, your townhouse here too. There's another connection.
Really?
Yeah.
You rented it for the summer?
Yeah.
Where were you playing?
Oh, I'm from here.
I know, but we're thanks, Tim.
It was after one of those Coyotes years, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He hadn't sold it yet, so I came in.
Oh, really?
I hadn't bought a place here yet, so.
Oh, wow.
It's a perfect little spot. Crestwood.
I was renting when I went to Phoenix. I was renting Jim Vandermeer's old place, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gilbert Burley with us in studio. Kevin Karius, David Schlemko on Sports 1440, 950 in Edmonton. You finished your career overseas in the KHL. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, I was over there for 7 years. It's a tough 7 years, to be traveling in Russia. It's not easy, man. Like, especially with the time zones and just some of those flights. Like, I remember when I was in China, actually, like I played in Croatia, I played in Shanghai, I played in Beijing, and then I played in a few Russian cities. So I got around. But it was a great life experience for me, not just the hockey side, but just outside of that, I got to see like so much of the world and see different people and how they are and different foods and like learn new languages and all this kind of stuff. And I think that really broadened my horizons and just made me see the world more openly, which was a wonderful thing for me. And, but yeah, like we had a flight, I think from Beijing or Shanghai one time, and it was like to Latvia we had to play. Yeah. So it was like 8 hours, refuel another 8 hours, and then play the day after. And it's like, how do you like, get your legs going for a game? Like, it's tough. Yeah, it's a grind for sure. I mean, the NHL is definitely a grind, but the travel there just is tough. Yeah, it's really tough.
How did you think the hockey kind of matched up to your game? Did you feel like you could let your skill maybe take over a little bit more with some more room out there?
Yeah, I think, I was always a pretty good skater. So like just having that extra space on the ice with the Olympic size, the ice there. And just the way that they play hockey over there, it's a bit different, right? It's kind of more cutbacks and delays and like getting speed and building speed together and like puck possession. And I think I really like that style of game.
Yeah.
I think if, in the late 90s or something, when the Red Wings had all those Russian and European guys coming, they just played such a wonderful puck possession game. And I always liked that. Like, I think the dump and chase game is good in certain areas, but like to keep the puck and have puck position, I really like that kind of style of hockey.
Yeah. What else have you been doing? Again, coaching the Brick, but you were just, before we came on, doing a lot of other stuff out in Vancouver.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what else have you been doing?
Yeah, so I run my own hockey academy, so Brule Hockey Academy on the Sunshine Coast, and we've got about 50 kids right now, and we're hoping to expand on that. We've only been doing 2 days a week for 3 hours a day. We do about an hour of classroom stuff, sports psychology, nutrition, all that kind of stuff, lifting and injury prevention, and then we get on the ice for a couple hours. So we're hoping to extend that to like 3-4 days this week. And then I also do stuff with the junior team over there, the local junior team, the Coastal Tsunami, they're called. Okay. So it was their inaugural season last year. Just really wanted to help them get off the ground. And I'm going to be back with them again this year. And then, so John Calvano has also been getting me involved with the Brick team for the BC Junior Canucks because I used to be, I was on the Vancouver Pacific Vipers at the time. They've since changed. But so I'm an alumni, and I really like how they're keeping the alumni in the family and keeping that tight. So it's a good group. I really enjoy working with these guys, and I'm trying to get my hands into everything hockey again. I had my time after I retired for a couple of years just to have a break from the game, which was much needed. And then, start to love it again and want to get involved, and just been very rewarding to like give back to the kids and give back in the game because it's such a wonderful game and the best game in the world.
Isn't it crazy? Okay. So you guys are, back in Phoenix, and now like Schlemmer, you're NAX, and you've got your own academy here. Yeah. Like, I mean, I can bet you any money you guys never ever talked about that.
No, I think you'd win that bet because I don't think we ever talked about coaching.
Think there's too many hockey guys that talk about what they're going to do in retirement. Honestly, that's an interesting statement. There's Biz, like was Biz around when you were there? Yeah. So like Biz was one of the first guys that really started talking about like what he's going to do after hockey and networking and marketing himself. And like, obviously that's worked out very well for him, but it's not super common, I'd say, amongst the hockey boys.
I think they're so focused on what they're doing and like their career that they're not thinking past that yet. Right. Yeah. It's just, they're focused on what they're doing. They're dialed in, and
then you see that's all we know. We don't really have any other skills. So I want to stay in hockey.
It's like, this is what we're good at. So let's continue that.
Well, even again, when, Craig was, we were trying to facilitate this yesterday, and I said, well, Schlemmer's going to be in studio. But I never, at that time, I said, I wasn't really putting two and two together either.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you guys, when's the last time you've seen each other?
Probably 2011, 2012.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I think I did message you somewhere in between there before, and we talked a little bit just to see what each other was doing, kind of thing. And
I feel yeah. Maybe I feel like maybe it was Cracknell I talked to when I first retired. You guys were playing out in China.
Yeah.
On the Kunlun Red Star.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I wanted to move to China.
Yeah.
Did you try to get him over there? Or
I don't know if we did, to be honest. I didn't, but maybe someone else was. But I would have been great to have him there. I would have loved to have him over there. It would have made it a lot more fun, and hockey would have been a lot better. Our team would have been better if we had him on our team for sure. But yeah, that was a crazy experience living in China.
I'm sure. I used to get some
crazy
snaps
food.
from Kyle Chipchura.
Just
like riding his bike out and like, where was it? Beijing?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was there with Chipper too. Yeah, it was cool.
Hey, Gilbert, thanks for making the walk down the mall. This has been a lot of fun, and I'm glad you guys were able to catch up. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Gilbert Brule, former Oiler, former NHLer, in studio this summer with Kevin and David Schlemko when he was here coaching his team at the Brick Tournament. An alumni of the tournament himself, played the same year as Schlemmer did here at West Edmonton Mall. When we come back, Low Tide will be with us. Alan Mitchell from the Lowdown with Low Tide off today, but we can't keep him away. He just loves this gig too much. We'll talk some Oilers with LT when we return. Before that, a Sports 1440 update brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding. AWSwelding.ca. Here is Josh Fenwick.
No games in the NHL until Saturday. A lot of games that day. Then NBA off until Christmas Day, same as the NFL. However, off the gridiron, Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf will sit out the final 2 games of the regular season after his suspension for violating league policy in an altercation with a fan in Detroit on Sunday was upheld on appeal. Metcalf will forfeit $555,000 in salary. The suspension also voids $45 million in future guaranteed money. Over in the golf world, Brooks Koepka's time with Live Golf is over. The 35-year-old West Jupiter, Florida native originally joined the tour in 2022 and has won 5 events over 4 seasons. Coming up on the Kevin Karius Show, we will hear one more best of interview, and we'll be joined by Low Tide of the Lowdown with Low Tide. I'm Josh Fenwick. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
Welcome back into the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440. Brandon Douglas sitting in for Kevin this morning. Got Josh Fenwick alongside in studio as well. We're into the 10 o'clock hour, final run of the KK Show here, leading into Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve to all you out there. Grateful for you listening in all year long, and in particular on this, the holiday morning before a few days off for us here at the station. And LT, the lowdown with Low Tide, given the day off today, but says, no, man, the Oilers played last night. We got to talk some hockey. And it's our game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge. Their biggest sale of the year includes the all-new 2025 Jeep Compass. It's a Jeep. It's a 4x4 and includes an 8.4-inch touchscreen. Keyless entry starts at $34,900 only at stalbertdodge.com. We welcome in Alan Mitchell from the Lowdown with Low Tide, also a writer at The Athletic covering the Oilers. Morning, LT. Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for hopping on.
Oh, no problem. I'm watching my cat Luna chew off little parts of my fake Christmas tree right now. So it's quite exciting. Quite exciting at my house, I will say.
Riveting time of the holidays. So LT, with the extra day afforded off to you afternoon folks here at Sports 1440, have you got the Baileys going, or is 10 o'clock not too early to maybe dip into the Crown Royal? It's Christmas after all.
Well, too much Crown Royal makes for too sleepy a Low Tide, so I couldn't begin to do that. Although I was tempted by a Bailey's idea today, but I got some running around to do. I'd forgotten things.
Right.
When you get to be my age, you get ready for Christmas, and then you get ready to go out and buy the things you forgot when you got ready for Christmas. So that's sort of. I think we need an extra 2 days once we turn 60 to get ready for Christmas. So that'll be my day today.
Yeah, Tide, we got the Rig Hand chocolate chip cookie double coffee creamer going in the studio this morning. Josh and I really enjoying it. It really spruces up the Shawshank coffee that comes out of the machine here at the Stingray building. It makes it substantially more potable. So we're along for the ride to get things going here in the holiday season. So Tide, Oilers win last night 5-1, pretty resounding victory over the rival Flames up from the South. They'll do the return affair Saturday night in Calgary, Hockey Night in Canada. Connor McDavid going to be on after hours. Should make for a great tilt, especially when you consider the way the game ended yesterday with quite a bit of physical stuff, some extracurriculars. The Flames not going away quietly and maybe teeing up what should be an exciting one Saturday night.
Yeah, the Oilers humbled the Flames. The Flames came up and look, they're a team in transition, and they've done well. They've moved up the standings. They're not far out of it, but they were outclassed. The best players on the Oilers were the best players on the ice by an absolute mile, and Connor McDavid is on a heater that rivals anything he's ever done. Leon scores 3 goals. I mean, they kept 3 lines and the defensive pairings at 5-on-5 off the scoreboard, but the power play goals were incredible, and that top line went nuts. I mean, I think it's something like 67% in December goal share for the top line, and they're scoring over 5 goals at 5-on-5, 5 goals per 60. So Hyman, Nuge, and McDavid are flying right now. They have to be the hottest line in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, it's tough to argue with that. You look at the production, and McDavid, we've already kind of touched on this morning, but like, what is left to say about this guy, right? But what I wanted to ask you is, how much credit are you taking? Because this run really coming on the heels of you throwing out there into the ether a little bit of like, is McDavid, is he still that much of a difference maker at the NHL level? And with a bullet saying here in the past month or so that, yes, he absolutely is. Just another spectacular performance last night with the 5 assists on the board.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, people knew that I wasn't all that right, and now I've proven it. But I'll say this, that they did back off his playing time. Hyman's return really helped, and the ignition was Nugent Hopkins moving from the third line center job to left wing. All of those things combined to put McDavid into the stratosphere. But what he's doing now, when you're looking at analytics and you're saying, okay, well, he's a certain age, turns I think 28 or 29 in January. Peak performance for hockey players is earlier than people think, maybe 25 to 27. But when all-time greats come out of their peak, that doesn't mean that they're going to be like normal humans again. And I think we're proving, or McDavid is proving that. He's he's so fast. There's a trick in tennis that I don't know if you remember it, but Roger Federer had this passing shot that it was like everybody was ready on the other side of the net and they just couldn't get to it. That's how good a shot it was. And McDavid does this thing where defensemen who are National Hockey League defensemen, they're paid millions of dollars to cover and to be able to match speed. And he passes them like a house on the side of the road. He's been doing it, I think, 2 or 3 times during this run. And it's just jaw dropping to watch him skate and the coordination that he has. This is, peak McDavid again. And I enjoy it because, and if you ever get a chance to watch him live when he's going through one of these streaks, it's just unbelievable because the whole game is fast. When you watch it live, especially close to ice level, everybody's fast. But McDavid, in a world that is, impossible to be able to skate that fast on ice and have 12 guys or 6 guys do it, McDavid is even faster than everybody, and he leaves them like they're nothing. And I mean, it's awe-inspiring, and it's the best entertainment available. I know that Edmonton isn't New York, but New York doesn't have Connor McDavid, and he really is that special.
Yeah, you're so right, and I find myself saying it all the time, especially in this recent run of his where he has looked so dominant. Like, there are times where it genuinely looks like the TV is on fast forward. When he gets moving downhill through the neutral zone and weaving through bodies and putting out a highlight reel caliber goal or assist even on seemingly a night-to-night basis. So it really is special. And listen, I know Edmonton as a city has been really blessed in its history of a pro hockey team to have some really exceptional players through, including the greatest ever. But can't be taken for granted getting to see a player like this doing what he's doing right now. As Alan Mitchell from the Lowdown with Low Tide, every Monday to Friday here on Sports 1440 from noon to 2. You can also read Tide's work over at The Athletic. Now, Tide, it's an interesting point you bring up about Zach Hyman and his return to the lineup, maybe spurring this return to form for McDavid from an offensive production standpoint. Do you think that there's anything to be said about seeing how Hyman's impact has affected McDavid can fuel Hyman's case for a spot on the upcoming Team Canada Olympic team that will be heading to Italy? I know the announcement's coming in a week here for the final roster. Do you think there's a chance he could be on it in this recent run playing a role?
If life were fair, I would say the answer is yes, because you could they're looking for chemistry. Well, you could take both McDavid and Hyman and you'd have it instantly. Just put them on the same line. But there's a lot of politics that goes into choosing the team. And if you look at the managers and the coaches who are going to be in charge of this, I think you get an idea about who's going to be on the hockey club and who's going to represent Canada. It's too bad. One of the reasons why I think you'll see a little more veteran presence on this roster is because a lot of guys have been waiting in line to play in the Olympics. McDavid's never played. But I think if you were going on merit, the thing that Hyman does for McDavid is, along with everything else, he can score from in close, and he's really good at hand-eye coordination in front of the net. But he forces every play. He contests every play, and he's fast enough to be a real menace for opposition defensemen. And even if he doesn't touch the puck, he can change the angle or alter somehow the pass, and that leads to turnovers in the neutral zone. And that's McDavid's that is absolutely what he goes with. If he gets a turnover in the neutral zone and there's a sense of panic or players are out of position on the opposition team, that's where he makes all of his things happen. And I think Hyman is so good at that. Yamamoto used to be, but Hyman's a better version of that, along with his ability to score goals. So I just think that the aspect of forecheck and backcheck that Hyman is just relentless about, it does feed into what McDavid's strengths are, which is, if there's a puck loose in the neutral zone and McDavid is first to it, I'm sure the coach of the opposition team is swearing not out loud, maybe, but maybe he'll do that too. But it's like got to be the worst feeling because you're not in a structured position, and now he's faster than anybody on the ice, and that's what Hyman does. He turns over pucks, he contests pucks, and he makes everything a question. And then all of a sudden, you're fully aware, if you're the opponent, that you have McDavid on the ice, and you have times of trouble as soon as you turn over the puck in the neutral zone.
Yeah. Alan Mitchell from the Lowdown with Low Tide here on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. Tide, the return affair Saturday night in Calgary. We saw the Flames with quite a bit of piss and vinegar as this game got out of hand last night. Do you expect Saturday's game to be, hotly contested, maybe a scrap or two in the early going, or are we going to kind of see a slow burn, maybe culminating in that type of stuff, depending how the game itself goes, sort of similar to last night?
Well, I don't know if they've got any more Giants in the AHL. Maybe they'll call them up. But, the Flames have always been that kind of tough team. And in the 80s, they were designed to beat the Oilers. They don't have enough time to design anything to beat the current Oilers before Saturday. But they're a rugged team. They're a tough team. And the Oilers are they have enough of that toughness to answer. But there's going to have to be some courage on the Edmonton side. We saw that from Trent Frederick last night. He took a fight that I'm sure, it wasn't, the place he would want to be, taking on a bigger guy. And then, you'll see that on Saturday. But I think it'll be very chippy because that's the way Calgary could win if they were going to win, is get the Oilers off their game. There's an age-old Calgary Flame trick where you target the Oilers' best player, you do some filthy nasty to him, and then back in the 80s, Messier would pound on the closest defenseman. Nowadays, in the world that the NHL plays tonight, you don't really have that opportunity to react because you'll get an extra penalty. But the Flames they're a good team and they're a rugged team, so it'll be physical on Saturday. And during the Christmas season, Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada, that's that's the National Theater, right? Mm. So it'll be a wild game, and I can't wait for it. Cannot wait for that game.
It should be a lot of fun here. Alan Mitchell with us here on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. So Al, any plans apart from, like I said, you got some running around to do today, but it's a nice little run here of time off for those of us at the station with the two holidays, Christmas Day and Boxing Day coming Thursday, Friday. Do you got anything exceptional lined up here over the next few days, or just some rest and relaxation?
I'm going to definitely relax. We're going to watch some movies. I'll watch the World Juniors. Right. And I love watching basketball on Christmas Day, and there's football too. So I'm never far from sports. We'll make the phone calls to the relatives far and near, and we're going over to Bob and Sophie's for Christmas dinner tonight, and I plan on eating way too much. I haven't eaten for 3 days. I'm just waiting now.
Right.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very much looking forward to it, and I don't take 5 days in a row off very often.
No,
so
you do not.
I'm going to sleep, baby. I'm going to sleep. I can't wait. I just got out of bed this morning, maybe 25 minutes ago. So I'm already in lazy mode. And for those of you who know, when I work, lazy mode must be really shutting down. So that's where I am for the next few days. Looking forward to it.
Well, that's exactly what some days off are for. Very well deserved. Enjoy it, LT. Thank you so much, as always, for hopping on the program and all your contributions to the morning show, let alone your own program and the station on aggregate here over the course of this past year. Merry Christmas to you and the rest of the family. Enjoy these few days off. I look forward to chatting with you again next week upon our return. Take care. Have a great Christmas.
All right, you too. Merry Christmas to everybody, the station, everybody listening. Be safe, have too much fun, and we'll catch you, next Monday, and be good.
There you go. Alan Mitchell, the Lowdown with Low Tide, Monday to Friday here on Sports 1440 from noon to 2. Obviously, the exception to that being the next couple days here. LT and the Gregor Show both off today. We'll have Fox Sports Radio coming up starting at noon, rolling that over into Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and all day Saturday until pregame action returns with Donovan Paulson and Andrew Walker. That'll start 7 o'clock Saturday night to get you ready for Oilers and Flames. The rematch down in Calgary. Hockey night in Canada. McDavid on After Hours should be an absolute dandy, especially with the way things finished last night at Rogers Place. LT was our game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge. When we return, we will have our final best of interview. We kind of shuffled the deck a little bit just because of timing and whatnot. Paul Stewart, the former NHL referee, he will hop on from his chat back in the spring. It was the first round of the NHL playoffs. Some talk with Kevin Karius about, differences in the way the game is officiated now compared to back in Paul's day, and some great stories from his refereeing, even some playing days mixed in as well. Always a great chat when Paul Stewart joins us. That's right after the break, and then we'll wrap up the program ahead of Fantasy Frenzy. Connor Halley will be in the house starting at 11 o'clock. Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick with you in the meantime. It's the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
The Bricks Boxing Day blowout is back. Be one of the first 10 customers in line to receive a $50 credit towards any purchase. Plus, shop incredible 5-hour door crashers, like 70% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching love seater chair. And all day, buy any TV or appliance and get a $50 credit towards furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Plus, free local delivery on purchases over $4.99. Some exclusions apply. The Brick, saving you more.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
At Cougar Paint Collision, we've fixed so many cars and helped so many people.
We really are a huge family.
We always treat every customer as you'd want to be treated.
You need to act out of kindness and you need to be accountable for your actions.
That's the main thing.
It's just something that we naturally do, is take good care of people. And in turn, those people take good care of us.
This holiday season, the family at Cougar Paint and Collision remind us all to show kindness and care. Merry Christmas and all the best in the new year.
Cougar Paint and Collision, part of the Napa Certified Body Shop program.
Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get started.
Dennis here from Weiss Johnson, along with my brother Mark.
Hi there.
My bro is the go-to for all our tough installs.
I do all the hard work. He gets all the glory. Mister, I'm on the radio.
Hey, we can't all be famous, but seriously, Mark's the best. And he's here if you're looking to add a legal basement suite in your home.
We install tons of furnace systems for folks wanting basement suites. It helps to subsidize their mortgages.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Obviously.
Weiss Johnson, your legal suite heating system experts.
Visit weiss-johnson.com today.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the Center Bar. Plus, catch this fall's biggest games. Every goal, every tackle, every home run. River Creek is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreekresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
Welcome back into the Kevin Karius Show, Sports 1440, live from the Stingray Studio here in West Edmonton Mall. I'm sure the mall about to get busier and busier as the day progresses. Many folks like myself got some last-minute Christmas shopping to do. The weather out there, not looking very ideal. So take it easy if you're out and about. You got errands to run. No rush. Everyone will get there. We want everyone to arrive at their expected destinations over the course of today. The snow coming down and expected to continue doing so. Snowfall warning in effect here for the capital region and stretching east kind of out towards Lloydminster. EG texting in. Merry Christmas to everyone at the station. Thanks for a great year of sports radio, except Josh. He's a Flames fan. Ouch.
I love you too, buddy. I love you too.
EG, Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you for listening. Thank you for texting. Really appreciate you getting involved with the station this year. Stair Farmer, Merry Christmas. McDavid's gone nuclear after we all wondered if he was not feeling right. Proved us wrong. And that's right there with MTR's text about LT saying McDavid might be in decline. Yeah, LT said he was wrong. Proven wrong. But I think LT has to be humble about it. Say, hey, right hand up. I said this, could not be more wrong. We, on the other hand, Josh, we can look at it and say, got the low tide bump.
We sure did. It did numbies.
McDavid takes Al Mitchell's opinion so personally that he was like, I can't be having my hero low tide saying this. I need to go out there and show that I've still got what it takes. And he has done that tenfold in this recent stretch. 11-game point streak. The numbers over that time are staggering. He's jumped into a 7-point lead atop the scoring race. Really, really special stuff. Really special stuff. Let's get to our final best of interview. Paul Stewart, longtime NHL referee, former pro player himself. Back in the spring, first round of the NHL playoffs, was chatting with Kevin Karius about a few different topics around the league and the world of hockey.
We welcome back Paul Stewart, former NHL referee, to the show. Morning, Paul. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Well, the cauldron's boiling with all the hockey. I mean, my thumb's practically strained beyond belief with all the switching of channels to keep watching all the different games.
Wow.
The NHL's come a long way since the fishing network.
We're with Paul Stewart, former NHL referee, on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. When I talked to you yesterday afternoon, Paul, you were saying that, and again, you mentioned your son's flicking back with the channels and talking about games east and west, and they were telling you how the level of play, the caliber in the West, they feel is a lot higher than the East. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that my sons are connoisseurs of the game. How could they not be in this house? But the fact is that they're looking at the game very antiseptically. They're looking at it just by judging the talent. And their opinion is that the Western Division teams seem to be faster and bigger. And I think that the one team in the East that, of course, may be slightly different or more akin to the Western clubs is Florida. With Bennett and Tkachuk, they seem to have really taken the. It's hard to not have a good idea what's going on with their physicality, and I think that's one thing. Watching Ottawa play last night in Toronto, you look at the action around the goal, and it's reminiscent of Billy Smith and the Islanders.
What did you think of that Anthony Stolarz, Ridley Gregg exchange in the crease in that Leafs game then?
Well, I think that if we keep having hockey like that, we're going to have to quote Don Cherry, bigger arenas. And the fact is that when the commentators talk and they talk about the first round as specifics, it usually, in my opinion and from my experience, it was always the toughest round because the really good teams had to battle to get past teams that were squeaking into the playoffs and playing with desperation. I think that's one of the aspects that happens in the playoffs that a lot of people perhaps don't think of or maybe ignore. In many senses, the passion is increased, the temperature is increased, and so you get to see more physicality. And again, if we have physicality, it seems that the commentators are all on the edge of their seats, and it can't help but be the same for the fans and at home and in the arenas.
Would you have flagged Stolarz for a penalty there, Paul, or would you let that go before the final exchange?
You know, the interesting thing is when I was taught how to be a referee by some of the greats in the National Hockey League, including Advari and John McCauley, I think, and my dad was an official and his dad was an NHL official. We look at is there a body, an autopsy, and a priest? you call what you need, and you keep the game flowing. And the magic formula that I adopted early on was that the moving puck is the referee's best friend, because when the puck stops, that's when all the BS starts. And I think that you see this now, especially in the first round. And as you get, the quality obviously will come to the top as each round proceeds. But the fact is, when you get down to the final two, you very rarely see that type of physicality. But I think it's interesting because the aspects of coverage in front of the net, especially we see a lot of European defensemen, and of course I get to see Boston a lot because I live in this area, but they don't clean house as much as perhaps like the Flyers did. The Flyers won Stanley Cups and they didn't have all-star defensemen. But if you went in that area, the next day you had an ice bag on your ankles.
Paul Stewart with us on Sports 1440. That's just a great observation about the moving puck being the referee's best friend. You know Al Hamilton obviously quite well, and he used to tell the story when he would come on when he was playing for the Buffalo Sabres in the 70s, Paul, against the Philadelphia Flyers. Al would always say that the puck was the safest thing on the ice.
Well, Al, of course, I was briefly a teammate with him when I was with Edmonton in the WHA, and he was one of the stalwart type defensemen that played. And of course, as a rookie, I'm sitting there in awe. Of course, I think that the Flyers back in the 70s, and I saw them every day because they practiced at the rink I was playing at for college. They had their own formula on how to win at the time. And of course, Ray Shero sadly passing away. His dad, of course, was the architect with Keith Allen. And I think that you develop a style and a sense. And I think this is something that, in particular, one team here in the Boston area hasn't seemed to grasp, that several years ago they got thumped by St. Louis. They just didn't have the physicality. And it's the same thing now playing against Florida. They brought in bigger guys, but it didn't necessarily mean they were bigger and tougher.
Paul Stewart with us on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. So when we have co-hosts on, Paul, like we've had, and you were on with Ladislav Schmid, we've got Chris Joseph now, David Schlemko. When they watch games, they watch it through the eyes of a defenseman. When you watch a game now, are you watching through the eyes of an official, or how do you maybe observe a game that you're watching now?
Well, it's interesting that once Lou Lamoriello stepped down yesterday, I once was standing with Lou Lamoriello at a game, and I made a point, that was a great play. Did you see that? And he's like, what? And I said, the referee, how he skated out of the way and allowed the player of the lane to tap it off the boards and get it over the blue line. I said, that's awareness. And I think that's good unspoken communication. So I'm looking at the game, having been a player, from the aspects of how they're breaking out and how the other team's pinching down the boards and things like that, which, seem to be the Mike Milbury style of how to break out of the rink, is zinging around the boards. And that was it. But when you look at these games, you look at it in many ways unbiased and not interested in really who's winning. But you tend to start to gravitate toward players like Bennett and Kachuk and your guy out in Edmonton. And that was one of the greatest goals I've ever seen. And I think, it brings conversation forward. All the players that you saw played against and refereed, who is the greatest? And I tell people it's like going to the Louvre. You see a Rembrandt and you see a Picasso. You can't say one's better than the other. You just appreciate their art. And I think when you had a Gretzky and a Messier and, Yari Kuri and Tikkanen, those fellows really added the character to that particular team at that time. And now when you see teams like Buffalo they haven't made the playoffs in 10 years, and you have to wonder, where's their identity? What is their base, and what are they stepping forward so that they can sell to the fans a game that people will want to come and watch?
Former NHL referee Paul Stewart with us on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. When you were officiating, Paul, how were you able to try to keep the temperature in the playoffs from rising? And what are you seeing now from the officials who I imagine are trying to do the same thing in a different era and maybe with the speed and everything else, sometimes don't do that job like it was done back in the day?
Well, because the game has changed, and you mentioned the one word that you have to really focus on, which is the speed. The other aspect is that for the majority of my career, there was a red line, and that necessarily made the game slower because it was like the Berlin Wall. They could only pass up to it. And with that said, I'm looking at a play with Vegas and Minnesota, and the guy catches a pass between the blue line and the red line on the far side, and he steps in on a breakaway. And we see a lot more of that versus the tight checking and the physicality that may have been more prevalent when I was out on the ice as a ref, and certainly as a player. And you look at the aspects of the rules changes. The officials now tend to rely upon replay. I see plays where I teach funnel toward the net. John McCauley taught me games are won and lost in the corners for the players. Conn Smythe said that, but that's all well and good. But the money's at the net, and that's where the people focus. So if you're going to have a game and you miss a play at the net, you know we didn't have the replay until 95 or 96. So I felt that my hand on the crossbar gave me the best position to decide if it was a goal or not. And when I was in Russia running the KHL for 3 years and teaching the officials over there, obviously I didn't speak Russian right away, but I brought out symbolisms that they got the idea. When they're on one side of the net, I'd stick a banana on the whiteboard and say, banana around the net. They got it. When you're on the backboard, you have to accordion back and forth from the boards out to the goal line so that you can keep the puck at a level so you can make the decision if it squeaks into the net and the guy pulls it out fast. We didn't have that replay. And the third thing is if you're deep in the corner, you telescope into the net. And so those ideas are my philosophies. I don't think the NHL necessarily goes by that anymore because they're so relying on the electronics. I think, having had a computer and a flashlight and anything else with a battery in it and wires, they fail. But if you're 3 feet from the net, it's hard to not have a good idea what's going on.
The two words that you always hear, Paul, would be the standard and consistency when it comes to officiating. And do you think that the standard and consistency is there like it used to be? Is it there right now when we're watching compared to several years ago?
Well, I think it's more consistent in that across the board. And having watched 3 or 4 games last night, you look at how the officials deal with little scrums and such as that. And a lot of times they just, there's a little push and a shove or a little pop in the chin. And you look at it and say, well, no harm, no foul, and let's get going. It only becomes necessarily important to penalize a player if you start to see blood or a guy snaps a guy and hits him in the helmet. But the rest of the time, and I'm just looking at a referee now in the Vegas game, he just told the guy to take a hike. I had Theo Fleury and Shel Samuelson. Now, Shel Samuelson was a huge 6'7" defenseman on the Chara line, and Fleury, of course, was lucky enough to be tall enough to ride on the ride. And the aspects were that every time he and Samuelson ran into each other, Fleury would be saying, "Oh, he elbowed me." And I had to say to him, his elbow is at your head height, and he hasn't even, stooped or raised it up. So why don't you just go play? And then one night he slashed him, and then Samuelson and I, they both convened, and I said, "Do you guys feel better? Do you feel better?" "Well, why? And I turned and I said, "Well, he elbowed you, and you slashed him. Now, if I have to come back and babysit you two, you can just go sit and I don't have to worry about you. And that type of communication, I think, is important and relevant. People always ask, what were you saying to the players? I said a lot of things. I said things that would help keep the game going. And, of course, I said to Lemieux one night when he says, I'm the show, people come to see me. I said, well, you keep acting up. It'll be tough to get them all into that shower room because you'll be leaving.
Good one. Paul Stewart with us on Sports 1440. Do you recall any other exchanges, especially in the playoffs, when the intensity ramps up and, it's not like the regular season, because every game in the regular season, the intensity, you never know what you might be getting. Yeah, there's some marquee games, but it's such a long season, and you're going to have that intensity, and guys are going to be maybe more in scrums, and there's going to be a lot more of pushing and shoving after the whistle. Was there something that comes to mind, Paul?
Well, of course, one has to think about the fact that all of these teams charter. So the travel isn't as tough as going to sit in the Minneapolis airport and flipping coins to see who's buying the ice cream. So you're certainly making it easier for the players now. And then, of course, there are days off in between the playoff games, and you're playing against hockey opponent or not, or that. So it really, the playoffs, a lot of people forget. They claim, the 6-team league or the 12-team league, the hockey was better. Listen, the first round of the playoffs, you're down to the 16 best teams, and so the rivalries start up again. Things that necessarily were always happening between New York and the Islanders, and the Rangers and the Islanders, or Philly and the Islanders, or Boston and Montreal, or Detroit and Chicago. You have now rivalries, and in particular, when I was refereeing, of course, the aspect was that you try to stay as much out of the way, but not surrendering your responsibility. So a lot of times what people would say to me, and in particular, one guy that is the president of an NHL team said to me, if you were still playing, I'd come and kick your ass. I said, we can arrange that. 10 o'clock tonight. Meet me over in Charlestown. I mean, there's a dumpster all fenced in. We'll go in there, and whoever leaves first wins. And he's looking at me. I said, seriously, you want a piece of me? Help yourself. I think you better go back and play the game and keep your mouth shut, though. So, or you may get an early start to Charlestown. And that, the word to the wise, these guys, you got to let them vent. It's like a kettle that gets hot, and its steam comes out, and it starts to whistle. Guess what? If you have the feel of the game, which I think I had, you have to be able to allow the players to express themselves, and you don't take it too seriously. I had one coach one night in Keenan said, you're no good, remember, a sucker. And I turned and I said to him, hey, I'll have you know I'm great at that. Ask Brett Hull. and that diffuses people, because I used to tell guys, listen, see that blonde in the third row? I have a date after the game with her. So if we're going to have to be here longer than we have to, I'm going to be pissed. And she's not going to be happy either. She doesn't even like hockey.
I think, remember last.
There you go. Paul Stewart, parts of that conversation he was on with Kevin back in the spring during the first round of the NHL playoffs. Longtime NHL referee, great storyteller. That is well edited down of probably only about half of maybe the total conversation. Go just get a quick Google search, Paul Stewart, Kevin Karius. You can find the whole thing. Some more great jokes mixed in there over the course of the full conversation that they had back in the spring. And that was powered by Cougar Paint Collision, our family helping your family for over 40 years, part of the Napa Certified Auto Body Program, CougarCollision.com. When we return, we will wrap up the program. Fantasy Frenzy's coming up at 11 o'clock. Myself and Josh will be still around for that when Connor Halley joins us, but we will put a bow, no pun intended, on the Kevin Karius Show heading into the Christmas break. Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick in studio with you. It is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440, and we're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and even Twitch.
It's hockey season. Before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Everyone knows Santa uses reindeer to move his sleigh through the sky. But when he has a sleigh he's ready to sell, he uses a goat to move it. That's the greatest offer of all time. And he knows he'll get it consigning with Sherwood Honda. They can sell your vehicle for you too. Any make, any model. Though they only sell literal sleighs for Santa because he's the jote. That's jolly old air traveler who consigns with the goat. And that's Sherwood Honda.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Subaru is built for winter. Symmetrical all-wheel drive delivers power with incredible control, stability, and grip. Add 220 millimeters of ground clearance, and you're not getting stuck in snowbanks. You'll drive right through them. And inside, luxurious heated seats and a heated steering wheel. Plus, for 19 years in a row, Subaru vehicles have earned top safety pick status, giving you unmatched peace of mind. Subaru is engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Welcome to Uncommon Standards.
I'm Saxon, and this is my little sister Goldie. I'm Goldie, and this is my little sister Saxon. Wait a minute. I'm the big sister around here.
And I'm Rick Showers from Noble RV, and these are my granddaughters. They like to help with the holiday commercials. It's sort of a tradition in our family. And since they moved from Australia to Nashville, we get to see them more than ever.
It's nice to live in the same hemisphere with Grandma and Papa.
That's right, Saxon. And at Noble, the holidays are all about family. And really, that's what camping is all about, too.
Maybe I should come work for you at your store, Papa. I can make the Goldie cakes.
Maybe in a few years.
Papa says used RVs are way better than new RVs.
That's right, Saxon. You learn quickly. So what do you have to say to all the people listening on the radio?
Happy Christmas to everyone in Canada.
And that's Noble.
NobleRV.ca.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
Excellent song choice, Josh, to round out the program. Welcome back to the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. Brandon Douglas sitting in for Kevin this morning. He will be back Monday morning as we reconvene post-holiday to catch you up on everything that's going on over the next handful of days because we won't be back on air with live local programming with one minor exception until Monday morning. That exception, of course, is Saturday night. Pre-game action with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson will get underway at 7. Won't want to miss it as they tee up the rematch. Second half of the home Edmonton Oilers down in Calgary to take on the Flames. They were victorious last night, 5-1 over Calgary. Big nights for McDavid, Draisaitl, Connor Ingram, solid for his second straight win in an Oilers uniform. All leading towards and some feistiness, extracurriculars, fracases, scuffles. Whatever words you want to use, all in the game should make for an excellent return affair Saturday night in Calgary. Josh, it's been a fun morning. Some great best of interviews. If you missed any, over the next couple days, if you do, maybe you are working, if you got some commutes you got to make. Myself, I'm going to be heading back to Delburne later on tonight to spend a couple days with the family at the farm over Christmas. Go back and just pick random random days, random interviews from the Karius show to listen to. It's all available on the podcast networks. Usually whatever one you use, we're on there. Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, you name it. If you need a recommendation, just send me a text. I'll be happy to suggest them, because I had a whole list of best dubs from this year. Had to whittle it down to a handful. And there were some real dandies. Big thank you to Andrew Walker, Mark Spector, and Alan Mitchell, Low Tide, for joining us for live hits this morning, talking all things from last night's Oilers game and heading into that aforementioned rematch on Saturday night. Josh, we've got the Fantasy Frenzy coming up at the top of the hour. Conman is in the building. He's preparing himself a coffee. He's going to sample this Rig Hand Distillery coffee creamer, the chocolate chip double-double. We've had a few tastes this morning. It's excellent. Very, very good. Josh, what are your Christmas plans looking like here? The weather and the roads, unfortunately, going to make it a little more difficult for you to venture south. But you've got some other plans queued up here.
I sure do. Yeah. Unfortunately, not going to be making it down to Calgary to see my family for Christmas this year. A little too bad, but oh well. That's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. I'll see them soon enough, I guess. I have Christmas plans with quite a few friends of mine who work at the bar with me. We all got our RTO denied.
Oh,
so because of we all have to work, we're sponsoring the Ben Stelter Foundation hockey tournament. So
Ben's Cup.
Where we're hosting a bunch of teams for pizza parties and stuff. So I'm going over to one of my coworkers' house, one of my dear friends, Jen. Having us all around potluck dinner. She bought a ham, so we're gonna be having that. I'm bringing some mashed potatoes, things of that. Mandatory. You got to wear pajamas. So looking forward to that. Also, the Manib Khan show will be on Sunday.
Oh, good point. Thank you. Yes, the Manib Khan show will be on 9:00 Sunday morning. That's for both of the next two Sundays, whereas the Saturday Sports Setup and Hoop City with Paul Sir will both be off the next couple Saturdays. So that's just a programming note for you. Regular programming Monday to Friday will resume on Monday next week. What's that, the 29th? 29th, right?
Yeah,
so,
29th.
Thank you all very much for listening to the program this morning and all year long. We'll be back next week with Karius in the chair. Eddie Steele will be back. We'll talk NFL football. You got 3 games tomorrow. Boxing Day kicking off the World Juniors and the Spangler Cup. Oilers back at it. More Week 17 action on Sunday, and PWHL Takeover Tour in Edmonton on Sunday. Maybe you're heading to that game. I believe it's the Golden Eyes playing the Frost. Some good pro women's hockey in our city. Have a great holiday. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Best of the season to you all. Enjoy the time with friends, family, however you are doing so. And if you are traveling, please take it easy. Take your time. We want everybody to get to their expected destinations to enjoy this time of the year with those that are most dear to them. For Josh Fenwick, I'm Brandon Douglas. We got Connor Halley joining us right after the break for Fantasy Frenzy. We'll talk some more football, more Oilers, and the like. Before that, let's get to our final Sports 1440 update of the show, and it's brought to you by Loca Quality Market. Loca, not your average grocery store. We're a butcher, baker, cafe, deli, rotisserie, pizzeria, all under one roof. Shop local at loca.ca. Here is Josh Fenwick.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
No games in the NBA, NHL, or NFL. NBA and NFL getting underway tomorrow. NHL off till Saturday. However, off the gridiron, Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf will sit out the final 2 games of the regular season after his suspension for violating league policy in an altercation with a fan in Detroit on Sunday was upheld on appeal. Metcalf will forfeit $555,000 in salary. The suspension also voids $45 million in future guaranteed money. Over in the golf world, Brooks Koepka's time with Live Golf is over. The 35-year-old West Jupiter, Florida native originally joined the tour in 2022 and has won 5 events over 4 seasons. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Josh Fenwick. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. December is here. Christmas shopping, Christmas wrapping, Christmas baking, grocery shopping. What about our vehicle? Does it need tires? It's not running? No problem. We got you covered. At Northgate GM,